You guys ever see that changing? Like young people actually being into politics at a young age?
One thing about politics is it's tough because everybody always wants you to pick a side.
What is your opinion on people who stay away from politics? And then what is your opinion on people who are all about politics? Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Story Time con Yuyo. I'm actually really looking forward to this episode. Today we got Jacob Arena, the youngest politician in Chicago. I think this episode can go anywhere. I think Jacob is a guy that knows a lot about our community, Belmont and Cragen, and he also knows a lot about politics. And he's the thing that really catches my attention usually with politicians is that they're old, man. A lot of them are old. So like for a 60-year-old, 50-year-old to kind of understand
It's
a
kinda
20-year-old, a 30-year-old. No. Yeah.
Or we kind of expect it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
But it's like, I feel like Jacob can relate more with us than we can relate with a 60-year-old, 70-year-old politician. Right? So, again, guys, Jacob is here with us, the youngest politician. I don't know if Yuyo wants to give him another mini intro for us, but
welcome to
I'm
the podcast.
really glad he's
Thank
here
you,
with
brother.
us
Thank
today.
you. Yeah, pleasure. Super happy to be here.
Thank you.
Super happy to be here.
Okay. So, I think let's kind of get rid of the elephant in the room first. The youngest politician. What got you into politics, Jacob? And when did you start?
Yeah, sure. So really, okay, so there's kind of a couple questions. You said, when did I start? I mean, it's been a lifelong journey that's really just been kind of leading up to this. When I was a younger kid, I always had not necessarily political aspirations, but I was always interested in it. I was always thinking, like, I wasn't necessarily happy with the way things in society were going, and it was always kind of like, who can I look to make a positive influence in terms of the things that I care about? But it was never like me being that person. It was always like, who can I support, or what can I look at, like who can I follow and who can I really just support for real. I didn't decide to take it upon myself to run for politics until really just like a year before I actually did it. So I'm a musician. I own an events and media company. It's like organizing events and getting people together has always been very important to me, whether it's just like for music, entertainment, really just finding commonalities. I'm a people person. I love to just be around people and just share good vibes, positive energy, that sort of thing. And when this position was open, there was a non-for-profit that I was working with that I was supporting in a bunch of different ways. And the CEO of the nonprofit was working on running for this position over towards Pilsen. And the conversation was like, okay, how can we get people filling these seats who are on our side? How do we make sure that the right people get elected into this? And me just being known in that, just kind of known in the city as a musician, as an event organizer, I had people who were supporting me and got behind me and said, hey man, like we think you would fit really well in this position. So again, I never really had political aspirations in that sense, but I was like, okay, like I think I could really do this. I think it'll be beneficial for me, my businesses, the whole community, everybody involved. So I went for it. It took a lot of work. I had to set it up, run a campaign and everything like that, everything that a politician has to do to get elected.
Right.
And then we ended up winning, and here we are a couple years later.
I'm not sure if you said it. Maybe I'm kind of like, my brain's fogging. What position is it?
I'm the chairman of the 25th District Council.
The chairman. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you got elected in 2022, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And then that one's the same. It gets reelected every 4 years.
Every 4 years, yep. So when the alderman is running, when the mayor is getting elected, it's
next
the
year
same
then.
thing.
So
Yeah.
next year, yeah.
Okay.
Next
Yeah.
year's the big one. Okay. And then how many people were you running against?
There was 6 of us were running in total.
Jeez.
Yep, and it was a lot of drama. People don't realize it. They think, oh, youngest politician, like, is it even a real political position? Like, probably just walked into it, whatever. But I had to campaign. I had to get elected. I had to collect a certain amount of signatures to get on the ballot in the first place. I had to collect over 1,200 signatures just to be on the ballot in the first place. And then you actually have to run, campaign, and then you have to actually win. And there was a lot of stuff that came up. We had some drama. There was actually an attorney who was running, but he had filed his campaign under a house address where a former alderman who's currently incarcerated was living.
What?
So I don't even know if he lived in the area or not, but he was running, and he saw my name was at the top of the list because I was just getting my paperwork in on time. I was just on top of it. At least I figure that's why he came for me. I don't know why he came for me for real, but he challenged my signatures. I ended up having to go to elections court. But this man, he like falsified an affidavit in order to challenge my signatures in the first place. Like he faked somebody's signature to get me on the ballot in the first, or to challenge my signatures in the first place.
Wow.
Like I said, I had to go to elections court. Luckily, I have a good friend who's an attorney. Shouts out Ben Lawyer.
Yeah, yeah.
Ben Lockyer, #1 entertainment lawyer.
Shout out Ben. Yeah.
Yeah, he was able to get me connected with the right people and help me through the process. But I was 21, 22 when I was going through all this stuff, and it was mostly me just trying to figure it out. All the paperwork, having to go downtown and make sure I'm on top of it, make sure I'm not missing these deadlines, and I know everything I need to turn in. And on top of that, I got this dude trying to take me out, trying to sue me, yeah, all sorts of stuff. So it was not a walk through the park. Like, it definitely took work.
How long were you campaigning for?
About a year. About a
It's
year.
been a headache, though. I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Would you do it again?
You guys run a business. You know how it is. Like,
Yeah.
if you really care about something,
You got to keep going.
you got to
You
keep
gotta keep
going.
going.
And for me,
Nothing's gonna stop you.
I've been able to learn so much from it. It's been such an eye-opening opportunity, as well as just like connections in the neighborhood and just whatever the case is. So I'm definitely very grateful that I did.
Okay. And then is this a position you want to stay in, or you definitely want to build up to something bigger?
You know what? Honestly, I'm not sure. So one thing about politics is it's tough because everybody always wants you to pick a side. When you think of politics as a whole, people always really want to
Divide.
see how you feel about certain things. Or if you're going to support someone further along in politics, you better stand behind everything they say.
Yeah.
Because if you disagree with one thing, they're going to ixnay you and remove you from
office.
whatever. Yeah, they don't want your support if you're going to have a different opinion on something. So honestly, in the political world, I feel like there's not a lot of freedom for politicians.
Yeah.
I think part of the reason why so many older people do it and why so many young people don't care is just because we are now more aware of how it is. There's people, older politicians, they're all getting paid. There's career politicians. They do it like it's their job. But I'm a very open-hearted, open-spirited dude. Like I said, it's a lot of it comes down to freedom in many ways. As politicians, you got to stay in a certain spot. You got to look a certain way all the time. You got to answer a certain way. And us young people, we just see that there's a lot of fake stuff. There's a lot of theatrics that happens in politics.
Yeah.
So you asked if I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, it's
Maybe.
like it's like anything though. I mean, I think that's one thing in our experience, and I hope I'm not wrong here, Freddie, but I think you do gotta watch out what you say, how you behave, how you are. Even in business, it's like you can't really have that freedom
Yeah.
as you once did. Like so I kind of get you because I think our lives did change.
Yeah, you got to set an example.
Yeah. It was more like, okay, I can't do this anymore, or I'm gonna think about what I'm gonna do.
Which, if you're a business owner and you're like making connections, you want to keep your business going, a lot of times like your business really reflects who we are as people. It's like people will know you guys and gravitate towards you and want to support you and stuff like that. And politics, as a politician, you're really running your own business too. Like, a lot of it's public relations. You got to make sure people are on your side. You can't be saying or doing anything too crazy. What's crazy about it is politicians be doing really crazy stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really shady stuff
Give me
that
an
happens in
example.
politics.
You don't have to say names, but just give me an example of something shady that
Just a
you've
lot
seen.
of like under the table deals.
Really?
Just corruption on all sorts of levels.
Really?
People think about, we can see what happens on a federal level. We hear about, oh, Trump's got this going on, or oh, Biden had this going on. There's always some shadiness, some headlines about some politicians doing something crazy. I'd really gotta Google his name before I'd even say it. But there was the one Illinois former politician who got arrested, and he's in prison now. This just happened a couple weeks ago. I'd have to really Google it, but he was a state rep at some position. I don't remember exactly what it was. I'd have to look it up. But it made national news. Some embezzling. He was stealing some money and now he's locked up for it. But this had just happened. And stuff like that happens all the time on such a large scale, even on such a small scale. Like I said earlier about the guy forging the signature from the house he was staying at, like all that stuff. People just taking deals. It's really pretty shady business.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays. There's not a ton of people who are into it just for the love of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's 100%. I think there's definitely like a lot of shadiness everywhere. There's just not a lot of spotlight for all the shadiness that is going on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for sure.
It runs deep. I mean, they call Chicago the Windy City. It's named after that, not because of the wind originally,
Why is it named that?
It's called the Windy City because the wind that the politicians would blow, because all the politicians were just blowing wind it really comes down to like the corruption and nepotism in Chicago politics. Because there's really
Like,
been a
words
history of that
mean
forever.
nothing.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Yep. A lot of projects get funded and get started.
Never start.
Right, or they definitely never finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always talk about running out of funding or whatever the case is, but the owner of the building's got a new whip. He's talking about getting a new hot tub and stuff like that. It's just a lot of stuff that they're not being fully transparent about.
I want to go back to, you said when you were younger, then it kind of pushed you a little bit more towards politics. What were the things you were seeing that kind of pushed you towards politics that you maybe wanted to change?
That pushed me towards it. I've always been like a social justice guy. Like I said, I love people. I love community. When I was younger, I would just see. Really, when I was before, a lot of it was like safety issues, like violence. I was always like gun violence to me was always just such a terrible thing. Really, like unnecessary amounts of violence and climate related stuff. When I was like 15, 16, that was always such a big thing for me. I felt like it just wasn't really getting the talks that were that it just wasn't getting the spotlight that I felt was appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, just the amounts of violence that was going on that seemed totally unnecessary, and then the lack of awareness towards stuff related to the climate.
You grew up in Belmont and Cragen, or you grew up?
I didn't, so I moved around a lot. I've been in this neighborhood for about 6 years now. I moved here, I was like 18, 19 or
Okay.
something like that.
Okay.
But just as a kid, I always grew up all over the place. I moved a lot. I lived in like maybe 8 or 9 different houses
Okay.
from the age of like, 6 to 17
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah, we're kind of in the same book here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, us too. Like, you change neighborhoods. Sometimes you see the same stuff.
Mhm.
Sometimes you don't. But yeah, we moved out. We moved a lot, and yeah, we got to see all types of changes as well. It
Yeah,
was a
but we
really bad
also-
neighborhood, really good neighborhood, and it was back and forth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we also got to see. Well, when me and my older brother were growing up, we got to see a lot of the gang activity, and mostly we were in Humboldt Park, so
Okay.
for a good amount of years, more than 8 years, and then we started moving around
Yeah.
from like Logan Square to
To
like
Belmont,
North Avenue,
Cragen,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Portage Park.
Yeah, but we
Yeah,
did.
we're
I
all
did
real
see.
close.
I remember seeing as a kid. I remember seeing a lot of gang activity, man.
Yeah.
like ridiculous.
Yeah, it was pretty tough.
But that actually has changed a lot in Chicago. I don't think we see it as much as when I was a child going to school, walking. It was to the point where they knew us, and they knew to leave us alone because we weren't involved.
Right.
But there was no way to avoid
Yeah.
them. So it was just like, okay, well, they know that we live there,
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't do anything to us one
Which
day,
do you think?
know?
Do you feel like it's really changing across the whole city, or do you think maybe just certain neighborhoods?
Certain
are changing?
I think certain neighborhoods, because like if I go right now back to Humboldt Park, it is not the Humboldt Park that I grew up in at all. Like I actually feel safer now, even though I don't live there anymore.
There's some streets.
But
and
because of
stuff,
what I
yeah.
used to see, like I used to see, for example, I'll give you an example of Moose Bernard School. I don't know if you guys.
Yep.
I know you went
I
there.
went to
So
I'm not sure.
yeah, where is it? Is it California Avenue?
North and
Like North in California. But like this side where the school was, it
Across
was
from
one
it.
gang. And literally across the street was a different gang.
Yeah.
And sometimes I got to see a lot of violence just in that little division. Like
Yeah.
coming out of school, it was like we lived on this side, so we were fine. But like the kids that lived on that side, like they would get challenged when they
Yeah.
got to a certain age. Not when they were kids, but it was like
yeah.
Which that age is probably still pretty young.
yeah, and
then
it
you're
was
kinda,
like
they're still probably
what
kids.
12, 13, and it's like you have to make a decision basically.
Yeah.
And how do you go to your parents and tell them, hey mom, this happened? They don't understand that, like I can't cross the street anymore because
Yeah.
they're not letting me cross the street anymore. So now I gotta go around,
Yeah.
or find another route because I'm gonna get jumped.
Yeah.
Because they just don't want me because I go to school here and there's another school on this side.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it was a mess, man, with the gangs. It really
Yeah.
was. And that's all I remember though. But right now I don't. I
Yeah,
don't
if you
see
go to
none
a
of
certain
that.
neighborhood, you for sure will see it.
Cause they were
And then-
deep, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like as soon as kids got out of school, it was
They
like
were
20,
deep.
30
I remember
deep.
that.
Sure.
And then the other side too, they were like 20, 30. And a lot of times, like I say, they would like literally fight.
Yeah.
and the kids are there coming out of school, you know,
Right.
and these
It's
are
just
like
going
grown
down.
men. This weren't teenagers. These were like grown men.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. It was crazy. I got to see a guy get hit with a hammer once, and the blood just started gushing.
With
I
a
think I
hammer?
told you that story.
Terrible.
After school.
Yeah.
And I was probably like 9.
Yeah.
So I think it has gotten better because I don't see them outside like they used to be, like in groups at all anymore. I don't know. I mean, I don't live there anymore, so I can't
Right.
really say. Maybe they are. Maybe they're just hiding somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah. Which California, North Ave, like it's definitely
Yeah.
not too crazy over
No.
there. It's definitely not that bad right now, at least. But you go a little further. You go a
Yeah.
little further. Like we're on Cicero right now. Like
Division.
Yeah, that's
Potomac, like
Mhm.
some of those smaller
Chicago
streets in the
Avenue.
cut there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
that's still bad. But
Yeah.
like even Humboldt Park, I remember my mom wouldn't let us go to the park because of the gang violence around.
Yeah.
You know, it's like even around the basketball courts and all that.
For sure.
We just couldn't. We weren't allowed.
Yeah.
Do you
Period.
think it's gotten better or worse?
Gotten better or worse? I don't know. I mean, it's definitely changing a lot. Like an area like Humboldt Park or Logan Square is
Yeah, they
definitely
changed.
experiencing
Yeah.
gentrification. Right.
Yeah.
Bad.
Total 180 change in the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
That's all that I can really register
Yeah.
from. I'm not one of these super old heads who's I've been on the block since 1985. Like, yeah, like I don't really know. I couldn't really.
That's
say.
And they're
advantage.
pissed.
Right.
And they're pissed that it changed.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing too. It's like, dude, like you can't be mad that your neighborhood's changing for the
Do
better.
you guys feel like at one point we're gonna be like, oh, this used to be so much better in the 2020s?
Most definitely.
Like we're gonna say that it was better in the
Yeah,
20s?
most definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, just the way the world is changing is so different too. So
Yeah.
if we're just talking about like criminal activity, like that's definitely one thing. But if we're just looking at the way like technology is coming out and the way humans are interacting with each other, I think it's gonna be so different.
Yeah.
So I almost feel like we'll probably be like, oh, it was better back. Yeah, right. Like
Yeah.
it was better back in the
Yeah.
days because I just see the way. For me, it's really just like a culture shift. Like
Yeah,
so we
it
could talk
is.
about like the way like gentrification and like criminal activity specifically, but just the way humans interact with each other is changing so much. And I think just with the release of AI and all this other stuff, it's just going to
It's gonna-
continue
yeah.
to grow way
Yeah, yeah.
more. Yeah.
I think a lot of kids, in a way, got helped by social media and like video games and stuff like that because that forced them to be indoors. Like I know when I was growing up as a kid, you know, it was like, what do you want to do? Play video games or go outside? A lot of them chose video games. So it's like it also was like a deterrent,
Yeah.
you know, to certain people. You know I definitely got me off the streets. You know, like it was
Sure.
just like, nah, I'd rather go.
Just kick
And
it,
then
play the game at
especially
home.
when I discovered like online gaming, that was like, forget about it. I'm
Yeah,
not
for
going
me-
outside ever again.
For me, it's actually really. For me, it's actually really.
But as a
weird.
kid, you know,
Right.
When I started playing with my friends from school, I remember, and it caught me off guard because it happened to me like 3 times. The mom of the kid would come up to me, like she would want to talk to me, and she'd be like, "Oh, thank you for playing with my son, because if he's not playing with you, he goes outside and he's hanging out with his friends that are gangbangers and stuff."
Yeah.
And then there was times that my friend would tell me, "Oh, bro, I don't want to play. I'm gonna go outside instead," and stuff like that. And then like when I would see the parents, and it would throw me off guard like so much. I was like, oh, I'm just trying to play with him.
Right, you're just a kid,
Like
too.
I'm just a kid. You know, I don't know what the
Yeah.
hell's going on here. And imagine how much that has changed now. Like even online now, I personally see online, and even when I graduated from high school, back like around 2017, 2016, when I started high school in 2014, like gangs and stuff like that were like all the time with the kids, the students. They were all involved. And then slowly just decreased and decreased. And then when I got to my senior year, it was so rare to see like one of your classmates is a gangbanger or like something like that. Which can also fall like, hey, he dropped out. So he
Right.
didn't make it all the way to the senior year.
Right.
But like it was still rare. And then something that I see now a lot in social media is there's a lot of kids that are actually making fun of kids who are gangbangers and stuff. So, because they can also you're just typing online, you're not saying it face to face,
Right.
so it's
Right.
easier to like.
Which
judge.
that's obviously different. That's
Yeah.
obviously different.
That
But
did
I
change
do
a lot.
see a lot of like people now it's the people making fun of the gangbangers. It's not
Sure.
the other way around.
Yeah.
I see that a lot now. Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, in person it's different. I understand. A lot of people are kind of keyboard warriors and stuff.
Which I'm saying, like, yeah, forget all that. All
Yeah.
those people, like, they're just kids trolling at home,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, that is not the same as these kids standing outside,
Yeah.
Yeah.
get money and cause
I
real
remember
trouble.
campaigns going to talk to us to not join gangs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like I know times have changed.
Yeah,
I know
sure.
that at the time when I was a child, I guess the turn rate from school to games was like bad.
Yeah.
And that's probably why they had to do it. 'Cause
Sure.
I do remember a lot of talks. People just spokespersons just going,
Yeah.
"Hey, you know, this is my life story. Don't do this.
Mhm.
I lost my leg. I lost my eye.
Yeah.
You know, I did 20 years in
Mhm.
prison. You know, like they would come into the auditorium and just talk to us about their
Sure.
life. You know? So
But that
it
used
had to
happen
be
a lot.
bad for them to
It
do
used
that, right?
happen a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
I remember it happening a lot. Like
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
at least 3 times a year
Yeah.
that someone's a
Yeah.
spokesperson would come and do the same thing.
Sure.
Every year. It
Yeah.
was like, dude, how bad is
No,
my
did
school?
you guys go through
Right.
that in your school or not really?
I didn't experience. We didn't have any of that. But I went to. So one thing about me too, like I said, I moved around a lot. So I moved in the city, but I lived in other states and other places
Oh wow,
too.
you moved.
I moved. a
Like,
decent
I
amount.
move.
I was pretty much. I was mostly all over the Midwest for real, but I always felt like a Chicago baby. I always felt real connected here.
Yeah.
But I would move around and go to other places where I would be like, the black
Okay,
sheep. In
if
a
you
sense.
weren't in Chicago, where else would you be?
I grew up a lot in Wisconsin. I went to
Okay.
high school in Wisconsin. So that's a really important part of my story when I was young. Because I moved up there, again, kind of getting away from all the drugs and violence and that sort of thing.
Is
But
it bad over there too?
Is it what?
Wisconsin? Wisconsin's bad with drugs and
yeah, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure. Tons of drinking, tons of drugs. Honestly, people in the city sometimes think that like the city is the only spot that's the hood. It's pretty all over the place. Like where I used to live in Wisconsin was a pretty small town. But one thing that I always think of, like, Chicago has so many great resources. So, like, if you are a kid who wants to put themselves out there and, like, find the right path or get access to something, whether it's different programs or different things in the libraries or that different nonprofits have access to, in some of these rural areas, they don't have that at all. So they're not really getting any of this attention. I remember being in Pilsen and somebody was telling me, like, oh, I got to drive 10 minutes to get to an open mic. I'm a musician, right? It's like, I got to drive 10 minutes to get to an artistic scene. Like, that's so far. That's so difficult to do. And I just remember thinking to myself, like, man, I'd have to drive 2 hours. I'd have to come to the city. I'd have to come to Chicago if I wanted to get anything done like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're different worlds for sure, but in many ways, they're very similar too. Sometimes people act like just because, oh, Wisconsin, that's a whole another planet away, which, like I said, it is to an extent. But the reality that people living there face and deal with, it's not super different. Like, our lifestyles aren't super different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is true. I actually never thought about that. That is true. The resources are definitely a lot lower.
Yeah.
Yep. And I mean, I think we're all growing up. So anywhere you are growing up, and you're going
We deal
through
with
the same
challenges.
things.
Yeah, there's older kids who are trying to bully you and punk you and do whatever. Certain areas have really bad gun violence too.
Mhm.
Some of these small towns that people do not talk about have high murder rates, and it's crazy just because, like I said, we don't talk about it. It'll just blow over the news or whatever. But that's just the reality.
It's not news, basically.
Right. But yeah, they don't care about it enough to
Yeah.
talk about it too much. Yeah. Or sometimes, like, we don't have shot spotters. We don't have all these different forms of reporting
Yeah.
crimes and stuff like that. So the numbers are all sorts of
Yeah.
thrown off and everything.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you say that you're also a musician, has there been a point in your life where you had to choose either politics or keep being a musician? Have you done that? Have you gone that far yet? Or
I don't know. I could honestly kind of say, like, you could almost kind of argue that I did have to make that choice,
Okay.
but I guess that was just me personally. So when I got elected in this position, I had the traction, knew the people because, like, the music stuff that I was doing. But when I got elected, I really wanted to make sure that I understood my role and that I was doing the best I could at the position and that I wasn't neglecting it by doing the music and just doing all the other stuff I was doing. So I did kind of take a pause from it. Always creating, always still meeting up with people and that sort of thing, but I wasn't, like, promoting my music. So I was like, okay, let me just focus on this position. People are taking it seriously. People are expecting certain things of me. So I have to make sure that I deliver that. And like I said, I'm not neglecting it.
yeah.
So in that way, you could kind of say that I did choose one or the
Politics,
other.
yeah.
But at the same time, that was just a personal choice. Like, maybe I didn't have to do it that way.
Mhm.
Maybe there was a dimension where I could have done both at a more equal balance.
That is true.
But I just wanted to make sure I really understood what I was doing as a politician before I started doing too much other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I think also like everyone has like different chapters, different times. Like, hey, I'm just gonna dedicate to this. I'm gonna do this. I'm not gonna forget about this, but this is what I'm focused on now. I'm gonna work on this, and then later I'll come up with this. And you find a balance and stuff. But I think you did the correct thing, honestly. I mean, because if you go into it and you're half-assing this, half-assing that, it's kind of
Yeah.
like
You're not gonna do nothing.
yeah.
Right.
So that I think that was a pretty cool decision, honestly. And I also want to ask you, as a musician, what skills did you have as a musician, or what is it that you really do?
So I got started rapping.
Okay.
Just straight rapping. That was like my whole thing. That was like my first genre that I really loved. But just as I got older and just got into more things, I play the guitar now.
Cool.
I play the drums. I dabble with the keys a little bit. Guitar is definitely my main instrument.
Okay.
But yeah, rap is really where it all started. Chicago's got a great hip hop scene. So I was doing just going to different shows, and actually I got hired by a record label from Atlanta called Real Hulk Records. I got hired by them to organize events in Chicago.
Nice.
And that's how I got my first foot in the door with doing different shows and that sort of
That's
thing.
cool.
Doing like
That's really
showcases, open mics, performance competitions. Yeah, that sort of thing.
Damn.
It always,
That's really
it's
cool.
always like, it's always there's always like something about how something comes about that's so interesting to me. Like, you don't really think about event organizers until you need an event, right?
Sure, right?
Okay. I get what you're
Yeah, and
saying.
I've always loved concerts. I've always loved music. But right, so it wasn't until I got that opportunity till someone was like, hey, I need someone to organize events in Chicago. Prior to that, I didn't know about it at all. I just knew
Yeah.
I wanted to perform and get my music out there and really just have fun and meet people more
Right.
than anything.
Why not?
And then I did my first show, and it was small. It was down in Sauk Village, way far past the South Side. I made some money. I made like $500, and I was stoked. I was like, "This is great." I was like, "That was like 4 or 5 hours of work. Made $500." I was a server at the time. I was always like working in restaurants before
That's
that.
cool, man.
So I was like, "Man," I was like, "If I could do this 3 times a month, I'll make more than I make
Yeah.
working 40 hours a week at the restaurant." So I was that just flipped my whole mindset. And like I said, I didn't really think of it either. You said like, "Oh, there's a way that things come to be," but at the end of the day, like even before all that, like I've always loved music. I've always loved shows. I truly believe that we are like the people that we are, and just as we go into life, these opportunities come around us based on our wants and based on what we ask for and based on like what we're looking for. So it could seem almost kind of random that I was able to get that position and get into this place, but I also feel like in a way I was manifesting it the whole time just
Yeah.
because of my interest and my love for music and love
Could
for
be, yeah.
community and events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you doing a lot of events right now, like monthly or?
Monthly, pretty much monthly. It really depends on a lot of factors. So since working on it, doing it as my business, I was doing just like shows for independent artists, and I would do stuff once a month, couple times a month. I'm starting to pivot. I'm really just still learning the business aspects to it. I started it just because I love it, and I was like, okay, I'm making a little bit of money here, but now I'm like, okay, how can I be the smartest businessman and apply business practices here too? Because it's more than just having a good time and getting people together.
Right, of course.
So I'd be interested to talk to you guys some more sometime about that too in general.
For
Just as a couple
Yeah, of
business
course,
owners.
yeah.
It's like I said, for me, it's like, okay, I'm just shifting a little bit. I used to just do the biggest, boldest plays every single time. Like, how am I going to get the most people out, the most attention? And that was really cool. But like I said, just being strategic too. So kind of to your question there, sometimes it's a couple shows a month. Sometimes I don't do a show for a couple months. It's really just figuring out the strategy and stuff right now versus before I was just sending it, doing
Okay,
stuff.
so go quality over quantity, kind of.
Yeah, pretty much. And then I work with different people too. So now sometimes it's not just about doing events for myself. I have different businesses and different people who reach out to me because they want to organize an event, but they don't really know how to. So I'm getting into that world as well too a little bit.
That's cool.
But like I
That's
said,
cool.
just
That's
learning
really
different
cool.
avenues about it.
Yeah, using your skills more importantly. I think that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you. Are you on Spotify?
Yeah.
How are you on Spotify?
How am I on
Yeah,
Spotify?
what's your name on Spotify?
So I only have old stuff on Spotify. So Young Reno is the
Young Reno.
That's the name I was going
Young
by
Reno.
before. But it's pretty edgy stuff, man. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I was younger doing it. Like I said, just a more
You're experimenting. That's cool, man.
like such edgy. That was what I was into at the time
Yeah.
too. So some of it's a little. I'm gonna just use the word edgy and leave it at that. But now since being the politician too, that's where like I've been hesitant with putting out music and stuff. So I'm like, okay, I got to really make sure my message is on point. I'm being myself, and I'm also like putting a good example out there for people that are listening to
I
it.
get you.
I listen to some of that old stuff and I'm like, man, what was I saying? It might sound cool, and that's what I was really doing, but I'm like, man, I could not be talking like that anymore. Just because that's not who I am anymore. That's not the energy I want to put out there. So I got some old stuff. I got a few songs up there. They got like 10,000 listens or whatever. I probably only have a few monthly listeners now at this point because this was years ago. You know what I mean? But we'll get back out there.
Yeah, do you
I
see
have
yourself
tons of stuff
going back to that, like after this, maybe after this?
I do
chapter,
think so, just because I love it so much. And again, like you asked if I was gonna keep going into the politics, I really just want to like reach people. I want to just get my message across, which is really just like
I think,
self-love and
if
positivity.
I may, I think you have more freedom if you focus on music, and you can do a lot more if it goes well for you.
Yeah, which that's kind of what I'm
Which,
figuring
like,
out
freedom,
now.
like the freedom itself is like if it's your own business, if it's your own, like, I don't know, music band, whatever. I don't really know though.
Yeah.
Right, but like if you want to donate, like right now the festival, right? Like,
Yeah,
you have the freedom to do it. You don't need to go through like a process to help people. You know.
yeah, for sure.
I think. I don't know. I think that it would be better off.
I think that's pretty cool, honestly. I think yeah, that's really cool.
Because it takes courage to sit here and say, like, I like music and I want to create music and I want to create music. Because let's be honest, music
many people
says,
say it
how
and
many
never
people
do
say
it?
that and really never do
anything.
that. Same with us with the podcast. It's like I was saying it for years. Though. I want to do a podcast. I want to do something like that.
Yeah,
I never did it.
Just takes action.
And it just
Right.
took action, and and at first it was crappy. I mean, if you look at my first videos, I'm like shaking in camera, I'm
Right.
nervous,
yeah.
and now it's like, I mean, I'm not a pro, but I'm definitely more comfortable now than I was when I started,
Yeah, which I think it's like, what do you really want to do also? Like, how bad do you really want to do a podcast? Like, how bad do you really want to be a
Really? Yeah,
musician?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you really just got to decide, and if you want it that bad,
Yeah.
you have to just do it.
Because people will listen to you, man, and that's something that our older brother told
People
me.
listen and watch anything.
Yeah. It's like if just do it, record it, publish it, someone's gonna like your content, someone's gonna follow you,
Sure.
and that someone's gonna refer, and then and it's
Yeah.
gonna just keep building, and then one day you're gonna look at everything you've done, and you're gonna regret it or you're not.
I think the best quote I've ever heard was from Ed Sheeran, and I'm probably gonna paraphrase it, but it was, "Get the ugly out of the way. Make those bad songs. Make that
Sure.
crappy YouTube video. Make that crappy podcast video. Make that cringy video and stuff. Just get the ugly out of the way, because you're not gonna make the first song, and the first song's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
Someone's one-hit wonder was the only song that blew up out of the 100 songs that he made. It wasn't
Sure.
really the first song he ever made. So I think the best thing ever is just get the crappy stuff out of the way. Make
That is
that ugly song, make that ugly podcast, make that whatever. Just
Yeah.
do it,
Yeah, and I think that's life too. I think that's with everything. Like, even the first shows that I was doing, those were a mess. It took me years to start to kind of figure it out till I could really make some money off it.
Yeah.
Or even just like talking to girls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You might be all shy and awkward at first, but it's gonna take
Hey.
some repetition, and you'll get
Get
it
out-
figured
you
out
gotta
there.
get those
What's your
out of the way.
name?
Yeah, right.
You gotta get rejected. You gotta get all the stuff out of the way. That's the only way it's ever gonna move or get better. That's
Yeah.
literally the only way.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I think that's I still go back to it. I
I
think
don't
that's
even
really
remember the first time I spoke to a girl, dude.
cool. Mr. Pro over here.
No, I don't
Say
remember. I really don't
You said the
remember.
first time? You don't remember the first time?
No, I don't remember like the first time I tried to approach a girl, like, for like
Yeah.
to have a girlfriend. I don't remember those. I don't remember that.
He's also married. Are both you guys married?
I'm
just
married,
remember
yeah, I'm
married.
married,
Okay,
yeah.
there we go. There we go.
Yeah, but like I don't remember.
Just
I
gotta make
don't
him
remember.
laugh. It's the easiest shit ever.
It's like, okay.
Shut your ass.
you just gotta make him laugh.
Right.
You laugh.
No,
through
I just
feelings
don't
into
remember
you.
like the event. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't remember me like having like feelings like that and approaching someone like that.
When's the last time you dropped a song?
Last time I dropped a song, it's been over a year, maybe close to 2 years now. I haven't
Okay,
since doing the politics run at all.
No.
But I was doing it a decent amount prior to that. Like, I was getting songs ready to drop like once a month sort of thing.
Cool.
I only did that for like half a year though, because then I got into this and I was just locked in.
What is the process of making a song?
Yeah, seriously, actually.
It depends. It's so different for different people.
Well, for you.
For me, sometimes I'll just throw on a beat. Sometimes I'll make them. I like to produce music too. So if I know if I'm just free doing my thing for a couple hours, I'm gonna be honest. I'll light one up, play some music, start producing a beat or something.
I'm like
just start writing to
imagining
it.
your world, like our world.
I'm trying to
like,
sit
we
in your
just-
shoes.
Yeah, I'm trying to like
No, not
visualize your
sit.
world.
Trying to be in your shoes.
It's just like this. We use a mixer and stuff too, but if you had like a keyboard and a guitar next to you, sometimes, like I said, I'll just find a beat online, or sometimes I'll make one really quick. It totally depends on how I'm feeling too. For me, like music is art.
Like,
It's really
I
a
know
feeling.
you go through this, but we're at home and we're thinking about offers, for the store, like, okay, let's create 2 for $5 for this, like.
Shit like
Yeah.
that, yeah. Just think about ways to.
What
yeah.
you're thinking of that, I'm thinking of fun words that are
Hey,
gonna
beats.
connect. Yeah, or fun little things that people will get stuck in their head or
It's
whatever.
crazy.
Which I'm always still writing music. Like talking to you guys about it is dope. I feel like I'm kind of bringing it back out a little bit, just being so vocal on it.
You
like
should, man.
I've been wanting to, but like I said, just been hesitant with all the stuff I've been doing. But as I take my time, I'm still practicing and writing. My music's still getting better, even if only my friend group is gonna hear it. And I got other friends in my group who are learning the system, like getting themselves more popular and getting more plays and more streams. I have some friends who are getting closer to getting record deals and stuff like
Good.
that. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work on this. You guys figure out the system behind all that, because there's talent is a big part, but you need to have your system in
Yeah.
place for just getting your music out as a musician. That's a business too.
Yeah.
So I got my people on the side who are starting to really get that figured out, while I'm just doing my other things, and it's gonna all merge back together.
That's cool,
It's
man.
gonna all
That's
merge back
awesome.
together.
That's actually really cool. Wait, are you those type of artists that always sing the truth? Like they don't make up a story, like a love story in their head, and then sing about that. I'm a huge fan of that. I'm a huge fan of people who just it's in their head. It's not really real.
Sure. I mean, I love freestyle. I love I love improvising stuff, but there might be something that I'll say or talk about that didn't necessarily happen exactly, but it's probably based on a feeling that really happened, or maybe it's based on something that really happened. So even if it's not 100% the truth, it comes from something that's real.
Okay.
Like it comes from someone that I knew, or like a certain instance or something.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Because there's also like
I haven't
artists.
thought about that at all.
There's also artists that sing their friends' heartbroken, like how they feel, and then they create that into a song and stuff. So that's also like super cool. I've always thought about like that's fucking awesome. And I'm the type of person that listens to anything. If I can understand the language, I listen to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's Mexican music. It doesn't matter if it's rap. It doesn't matter if it's country. It doesn't matter. If I understand the song, I listen to it. So that was one thing my brother told me once. He was like, I only listen to music that I understand the language. Because if you're listening to something in another language and they're saying some shit that you probably don't understand, and you're over here cheering for it, it's like, yeah, you might as well just listen to
I'm a
music you
fan
understand.
of Jimmy Fontana, so I don't know if you guys know.
No, I don't know who that is.
No.
He is an old head. I think he's probably deceased by now.
Okay.
But he's Italian. It's like old school Italian.
Okay.
Or Domenico Modugno.
Nope.
But I've shown you.
You
songs,
probably showed me. Yeah, I probably like. Oh, I'll remember.
I'm
if
more
I'm
of
hearing it.
those, like,
Yeah.
like the old school. I don't know. I just.
Which I listen to all sorts of stuff too, all sorts of times and genres. For me, I often don't understand the music that I'm listening to, so maybe I am applauding or cheering to something that not so. But I'm like, if it's a vibe, like
Which I get that. Yeah.
you can still interpret like what
Right,
the energy
right,
is like
right.
just through
I
the
get that
sounds
too, yeah.
Especially a lot of the music. I listen to a lot of music in Spanish, and I can often only understand a little bit of it, but it just be hitting. And I'll play it in a car with all my non-Hispanic homies. I'm the only one who can understand a little bit, but we'll be in there and they're vibing. You know what I mean?
I can't even picture that.
Like, well, you gotta come hang out sometime, man. You gotta come see it for
No, the way you
yourself.
said it, non-Hispanic homies. I can't even picture that because I mean, most of the people I talk
Yeah.
to is Hispanic.
There's actually
so.
there's actually it's really weird. There's actually a lot of people who don't speak Spanish that listen to Bad Bunny, and they say that it's because of the beat and the way it
I can see
sounds.
that. I do
vibey.
like his beats.
A lot of people say it sounds
I don't like what he
vibey.
says, but I do like his beats.
Sounds
I
like, when you're in
fucking love
the
Bad
when
Bunny.
you're in the function too, and
If
which I
it's
do
hitting,
also,
it's
and
hitting.
everybody's singing it, like shoot, I don't understand, but
This shit go hard.
I know it's going hard right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is music that is meant for concerts, it's meant for speakers, and then there's music that's meant for like just you listening your
Sure.
own private stuff and stuff like
Right,
that.
right.
So or even background noise and stuff like that too. So that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of people who like listen to music and they just like the vibe of it, and that's cool too.
For me, the reason why I listen to music that's old is because I like to hear like the melodies of that time of that era. Like Jimmy Fontana's probably like from the late 40s, early 50s, probably even older. I'm not sure, but just to hear him and like to hear those melodies, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, Grandpa's was really you know
He was
hitting it
getting
back
it.
there. They were
Yeah.
they was popping back then.
Yeah.
I mean,
You want to imagine what
it was like
their
the-
reaction when it
yeah,
came up on the
yeah,
radio?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, that's kind of cool to me. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
just how I've always been interested in it. Even like historic music, like how before when they used to go to war, they used to have drums like doom, 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 and they're marching towards the war.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
And they would
it's-
record that and then sell that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That is crazy. Again, like music just being the vibe, right? Just being
Yeah.
like a
Right,
feeling
right,
more than
like,
anything.
to get everybody into that fighting
Yeah.
mode,
Yeah.
like that upbeat. I don't know. It's a lot of I'm more into like symphonies too and
Okay.
stuff like that. I don't know. I guess I'm an old soul. I don't know.
Sorry about going like a lot into like the musician stuff and all that. We don't want to throw you off guard,
But
but
a lot of people can relate.
pretty
to music.
intriguing.
I mean,
Yeah,
who
that's
can't-
cool.
At
No,
least to me, it's
fun to talk
intriguing.
about. Yeah, yeah.
it was actually pretty intriguing. I've never met a musician. I've spoke to people that want to create, but I've never actually spoke to like somebody who has created.
Yeah.
I think there's two different levels to that, so that's actually pretty awesome. And I mean, like Sal said, like we applaud you for that. There's not a lot of people who would share their art out there, especially like with this how judgmental everyone is. So
Right. But just
It
kind of
doesn't
going
matter.
have to like, if you want something,
Do it.
just do it.
Do it.
people make fun of you for your clothes. They make fun of you for the way your hair is.
For not even
when the
trying.
wind
Yeah.
blew around, and then they forget about it.
Yeah.
Like you really can't live.
I think
life
that's
like
something that has helped us out a lot. Well, I mean, I don't really care about. You'll see me with messy hair. If you ever walk in this store and I'm like, crap, that's just me, man. I really don't pay attention to those things. It doesn't matter to me. And same goes to other people. Like I don't judge them just because
Yeah.
their hair's not done or
And that's the best thing ever too. Is like Jacob said, they'll forget.
right.
They're gonna leave 5 minutes later. Something else is gonna come up in their life, and they're gonna forget about you.
Right. Like they don't really care in the first place.
Yeah.
Someone who's picking on you or thinks you're doing something stupid, like
To an extent.
they're doing that all day to everybody they interact with.
Yeah.
Like that's coming from them internally.
Right.
Yeah.
Something I can't be thrown off by what
Right,
I'm doing.
right.
Especially if you have that much confidence in yourself, if you really believe in what you're doing, whatever somebody next to me has to say about it,
It's whatever.
It's whatever.
really, yeah. It's whatever. Easy come, easy go.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know these people anyways. Like why would I care what they think or what they're gonna judge about me?
Yeah.
Like I know how dope my life is. I know I wake up and I'm super blessed. I'm super grateful for the way I live every day. Some people might think I'm a little silly. They might see some Instagram videos like, oh, that's so cringe or whatever. But
That's just you.
I'm good. But like God's got me. I live literally like
Yeah.
the best life imaginable. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
if they can't see that, that's
Yeah,
not for them.
I always see that because I do watch you. We do follow him.
Mhm,
right?
yeah.
I'll like put the heart on the videos here and there. I think
I
that's
appreciate
me.
that. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
likes.
Because-
Yeah, the likes.
Yeah, the likes. Yeah, that's me. I don't know, man. I've never.
Your Instagram is all over the place, and it's pretty cool because you do everything.
Yeah.
So that's super like cool. Honestly.
Like the day that you put up something about chores, I actually had some chores to do, and I'm like, fuck.
That's fire. That's fire. I love to hear that. I love to hear that.
I was like, he right, man. I gotta do this.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah.
What
It is
is-
all over the place.
Is there a goal that you have right now with like your social media and stuff?
Honestly, I'm really in like the figuring it out phase right now.
Mhm.
I'm 24. I've tried a lot of different things. I'm like, okay, let me just figure out what's working and what do I really care about. Because like you said, it's kind of all over the place. I hear certain people talk about, oh, you got to be just doing one thing.
Yeah, do a niche. Pick a niche.
But I'm like, man, I just have so many interests. I'm just a very passionate guy. There's a lot of things I really like to do and that I want to
I
share
would
with
say
people.
otherwise. I know a lot of people want to have like a strategy to do. I say do what your heart tells you to do, man. That day. That's it.
Yeah. Which that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's like still building that confidence to be like, I'm just going to do this because I care about it and put it out there. And I'm just going to see what happens.
Yeah.
Like, I have a lot of goals. I have lots of places that I want to reach. But even, so say what I want to reach is Z. Say I'm at C right now.
Mhm.
Just figuring out how do I get to that last point. Like I said, I do have goals. There's certain metrics that I do want to reach, of course. But I'm still figuring out exactly how how am I going to get there? And I might always be. Like I said, even with the events too, I do a lot of different types of events, and I'm still just kind of honing it exactly what is. Even with the politics, it's like, am I gonna run again? Is this really something that I want to do, or do I just want to connect with people? Like, what's really the best path to go? You know?
Yeah. Going back to the politics, when do you have to decide? Because I know that the voting is next year. So when do you decide to be like, okay, I want to keep going?
Pretty
Do
much.
they give you a time frame?
There's not like an actual time frame. There's a deadline for when you have to have certain paperwork in and stuff like that, and it might be like February. I'm honestly not really sure. It's usually like a few months before the election, or it honestly might be November of next year. But if you're going to campaign and if you want to get elected, people often start like a year ahead. People are starting to get the little talks if they're going to run again, that sort of thing. Brandon Johnson is starting to talk about all the stuff he did, so he can have a positive spin on his
Okay.
on his term, just so if he's going to run again, everybody kind of knows and is getting ready. So really like a year, really like November is when it kind of starts. And then like next November, election stuff will all be in full swing.
Okay, that's cool. And then I kind of have a question. What is your opinion on people who stay away from politics? And then what is your opinion on people who are all about politics?
So one thing, whenever people like see my Instagram or they hear I'm a politician, they pretty much put me in that politician box. And a lot of young people like, oh, you're a politician, like you're into that. Like young people pretty much just think it's wiggity whack, 10 out of 10. They're not messing with it. And then, like you said, there's people on the other spectrum who think it's their saving grace, and they really want to know everything that you think and you believe in, and they want you to pick the side that they believe in. In life in general, I believe balance is important. It's the yin and the yang, right? The Buddhists believe in yin and yang.
Okay.
I think it's important for young people to be aware of what's going on. We can make jokes and be like, oh, our votes don't really count. Like, people want to talk about the Illuminati, whatever. Like, they're just going to control everything anyways. And to an extent, that's all the case. Like, that's all true. But it's still important for people to be active in their communities on a federal level or even on a local level, because what they vote for does make a difference. Who they have in office, who's going to be advocating for what, it does make a difference. On the day-to-day, I'm not sure how often, but certain things like paying taxes on your houses, or if they're going to increase the flashing lights that give you tickets on the red lights and around the corners in front of schools, that sort of thing, that stuff does change depending on who does get voted in. So again, for the person who doesn't care at all, I think maybe look around a little bit, because your voice does matter more than you realize. You can get people behind you, and even if you don't want to run or be a politician, you do have influence. Like, we're just humans. We're all just interacting with each other.
Yeah, I think it's I think there's two types of young people, and it's the ones that you mentioned that don't care at all, don't want nothing to do with it, and then the ones that, like I said on yesterday's podcast, the ones that do vote, but they don't know how they're voting or what they're voting for, and hopefully they stay along for the journey to keep voting, stuff like that. But like, for example, like I didn't really start taking it serious until like 26, and that's because that's when we got this, and like,
Sure.
just my obligations has changed, like you said, property taxes and everything else. It's like I didn't have an option to not care anymore. I mean,
Sure.
I always cared, but I had to care at a different level now.
Yeah, for
'Cause-
you guys, all your products, if there's
Yeah.
going to be taxes added to it or
Yeah.
taken away, that
Yeah.
all makes a difference.
So it like forced me to like pay attention to that side of my life.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of young people don't have that yet, because they're still, like you say, you're trying to figure out themselves.
Yeah.
So they're like, that's like the last thing onto their list
Sure.
at all. And like,
And then all they do is they see like old white men who are politicians who just try to shove stuff down their throat. That's going to turn them off to it for sure. Or even
Yeah.
some younger people who are super ride or die into politics, who don't necessarily realize all maybe the stuff that's going on behind closed doors that, like I said, they just don't realize. So they're trying to put something in your face, but they don't even understand 100% of what's going on either.
And then
that's why I'm saying that balance is
yeah,
important.
And then to make matters worse, some of the parents don't even know about that stuff. So
Sure.
that doesn't get passed on to the kids either. So it doesn't
Yeah.
help the situation at all.
Mhm.
So I mean, I know our parents never talked to us about politics at all. Like, hey, you guys have to do this and this when you guys grow up.
Yeah.
You guys like zero.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. I don't ever recall my mother or my father telling us like, you guys have to go vote. You guys have to do this. You guys have to do this.
Sure.
And
No.
for the same reason that they were probably not educated on that subject either, you know. So
Yeah.
So yeah, do you guys ever see that changing? Like young people actually being into politics at a young age?
I think it's what Jacob said. Sometimes there's kids that just saw a clip and they run with it. Well, not kids. There's people that saw a clip and they run with it, and they really don't even know everything that they're talking about. Instead of like really educating themselves on what the
Yeah.
person was talking about and stuff like that, or like you said last time, that Sal was saying that he saw the whole Pritzker situation that's going on with Trump right now.
Mm-hmm.
And what he sees is that a lot of people that are talking about it are people who just are seeing the TikTok clips.
Right.
They didn't see his whole speech.
They're
they didn't see the whole
targeting
thing.
Sure. And I
just
think
the main
that's really
points.
just like part of what's going on today in general. People don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
But politics is one way that people can just be divided right off the bat. Oh, I'm one color. Oh, you're the other color. I instantly don't like you.
Yeah.
Right.
I think in a big way, it's really just dividing us. People talk about
That is true.
race and people talk about, you know, the man doing all this or it's the white man's fault, whatever the case is. But that's always been interesting to me because I've always been in black and brown communities. Like, hang on, like I'm dealing with this stuff here too. Like I have the same issues, problems at home and outside of home that you guys are having. But people would look
Right.
at it like, oh, it's because the white man or whatever. Like, oh, you're rich. I'm like, my house is actually more fucked up than yours. Like, whatever the case is, you know what I mean? So that's just what I'm saying. Like, it's
Yeah.
really just used as like a tool to divide people more than anything nowadays. And it's the corporations that are funding both sides.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just while we're keeping it totally real, like, USA is a hawk, right? It's the right wing, the left wing, but it's the corporations that are in the middle that fund both sides and just keep everybody arguing and on different pages.
Yeah.
Which
then,
that's
yeah.
that's part of my whole thing too. I'm like, you guys, we're actually a lot more similar than we realize.
I feel the same way with religion too. It's just separating people. It's not really doing its job. Period. All across the board. Not just one religion. I think politics and religion they're there to separate people. Period.
I think people are just scared to have a tough conversation.
Right.
People are very scared.
It
to
is
have
a tough conversation. I've always said you don't need a religion or a party to tell you if you're a good person or not.
Mm-hmm.
You know if you're a good person or not.
Which I think young people in general, so we're getting more turned away from politics. Oftentimes, young people are getting more turned away from religion too.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're seeing a lot of those things. You said
Yeah.
you called it like a tough conversation. I think when for generations people have had such strong beliefs. So my family was Italians; they were Catholic. They've had those strong Catholic ties for hundreds of years. So if you try to go up to one of them and be like,
Of
hey,
course.
your mom, your grandpa, everybody in your family was actually wrong, they're going to then get defensive.
Defensive, yes,
yeah.
of course.
But if it could just be like, instead of building these walls between politics and types of religion, if the conversation instead is, do you take care of your grandma? Do you love your kids? Do you water the flowers? Do you want to take care of nature? And if we focused more on those types of things, again, we'll just see the commonalities.
Yeah.
yeah.
But the
I agree.
but people weren't. I don't know. We don't do that. It's not in human nature to think that way. It's human nature is often selfish. It's often
It is.
we have our packs, but a lot of times people do get their pack and kind of leave everybody else
Yeah.
out there, and they're not super open, which is unfortunate. But that's the way the world's
It's
always
really it's really hard for someone to say, "Oh yeah, I'm for the people," and then when something happens, you can't even take action. You know, it's like, I'll give you an example. I recently this year saw like something that like I had to pull over with my wife. So some guy fell in the street, and I think he was having an epilepsy attack. Right? I'm not like an emergency person. I'm not certified for none of that stuff. But I'm driving, and my wife is, on my side, and I see this guy just stumble, like, and everybody that was there just left the side. I pull over, and I'm yelling. I'm like, you guys gotta get him up. You guys gotta sit him up, because it was like 5 men and like ladies, and they all just. And I'm like, no, he has to sit down. He's gonna choke on his tongue. And then I had to get out and like help, and it's like It's common
guys were just gonna
sense,
watch
bro.
him.
You're just gonna
Yeah.
watch him die.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. A lot of people say, "Oh, yeah, I'm for the people. I'm this, that. But they can't take action when shit happens.
Sure.
And that to me is very inhumane. I don't know. That's just how I take it. And I was pissed that day. I was like, dude, like, and the reason why I know what to do with it is because when I was in high school, we had a friend that was a classmate that was epileptic, and we had to like, the teacher told us put a pen inside so that he's not choking with his own tongue. And one time he did it on me. We're in the computer lab, and I just feel him, you know, like I just felt like the shaking.
Yeah.
And I was like, my first reaction was like, dude, chill. But then I saw what happened, and he fell, and the teacher immediately like, no, sit him up. So like I never forgot that.
Sure.
Sit him up, put something in his mouth so his tongue doesn't go back, and he chokes on his tongue.
Yeah.
That I never forgot. That experience I felt, because at first I was like shocked. I was like, oh, what's happening?
Sure.
Ooh, what's wrong with him? You know. And then I had to react, because otherwise he would have choked on his tongue.
Sure.
So when I saw that guy and I saw the stuff, and he's shaking, and oh, that's an epileptic. I recognized it right away, but it just surprised me that everybody just
Yeah. Which I would almost. What do you think about this? Like, would you almost want to give those people a little grace for not knowing what to do? Like, it sounds like you said you've experienced that before, so you were able to recognize it. Where those people were maybe just in that.
But
that
it's
shock.
just like
maybe they wanted to do something. They just
I
didn't
get
know.
it. It's not. I mean, maybe it's not their family. Maybe it's not something that they're familiar with.
Which that's what I'm suggesting. Maybe they
Right.
just didn't know what to do. Like,
But like, not doing nothing is also crazy.
yeah.
I don't know. What
And
do
you do hear about stuff like that. I've heard there was one case somebody got stabbed up in the subway in New York or something, and they're calling for help, and everybody's just standing
it
around
just
and lets
bursts.
them.
Like,
Yeah.
nothing's happening. Not my life.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just feel like events like that really
I mean,
really tell you the people. And again, this could have been religious people, right? This could have been,
Sure.
people that are really religious, whatever, and then they don't even help the people when they really need the help.
Yeah.
And me, who hasn't found my faith, I'm able to react to things. So, what the fuck, bro?
I think
I don't know.
you're right. I think you both are right. But I also think like we're also living in a world where everybody is like mind your business. So you're hearing all the
Yeah.
time mind your business, and then sometimes the people that are helpful are the ones that are being crucified, and it's like, well, then I am just gonna mind my own business.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's when it comes in when you're saying sometimes you just gotta be human. What's the quote? If you have a chance to be a superhero, be a superhero. If you don't have a chance to be a superhero, don't be a superhero. But if you have a chance to be a superhero, be a superhero.
It's
Or
not-
a hero in general.
It's not that you need to be a hero. It's just
No, it's
like
because if
see
you have the
situation,
chance, yeah,
you need
but
to
that's
act.
right.
That's
Yeah.
all.
But that's your story. Right
Right.
there, you were meant to be the hero, and you were the hero. You get what I'm saying? If you would have known, and you see the guy, you roll your window. I'm still gonna keep driving. That was you. It's like Jacob said. Like, give him some grace. Maybe they were in the same situation you were when you were in school, and they really didn't know. But it was still inhumane to let the man fall and not check up on him.
Sure.
Because my first thought was he's blind because he had a stick, but it wasn't a walking stick. It was just a regular stick. My first reaction was like, oh, that's a blind man, But then when I saw that he was like convulsing, I was like, no, that's not a blind man.
Something else
Yeah.
is going on here.
And I tell my wife, is he tweaking? Like, is he twitching? And she's like, sí. And my wife is, Mexican, so she speaks mostly Spanish. And I just pulled over. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And I actually almost caused an accident, but
An accident was already obviously
right,
happening.
it was happening.
Yeah.
I just remember looking up, and like everybody, as soon as he fell, just scattered.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like-
wild.
Like, not my problem, boys.
Yeah, I was like, damn. And he was by himself, like he wasn't with no one. And then there was a lady that was just watching me. I'm like, llámale a la policía, llámale a la ambulancia. Stop looking at me, bro.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's good you told them. We do like stop the bleeding trainings and stuff like that with the district council, and that's one of the big things they say. They're like, if you're gonna be the one who's gonna take action and be the hero in the scenario, they're like, tell other people what to do. Like, if people are just standing around shocked, like,
You're just watching, like,
give
what's
'em something.
happening. Like, dude,
Yeah.
this ain't World Star, bro.
right. I
I don't know, man. But on another note, I've also one time pulled over to the curb to try to help someone like change a flat tire because I felt bad.
Yeah.
And then he got mad at me, so I just got. I was like, dude, that's what I get for trying to help.
Right. I gave somebody some coins the other day and they threw them.
Oh yeah,
Somebody's
that's
asking for
happened to
some
me
change.
too,
I gave them a
bro.
handful of coins. They just looked and threw it. I wanted to stop the car and be like, bro, but I was like, man, I do not have the time. Like, don't. I'm beyond that nowadays.
Yeah.
Like I said, younger me would have been like, hey, bro, like, I thought you just needed those.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? But
No, you know what happens
different
to us
people
here in the
out
store
there.
a lot? A lot of the people who beg and are out in the street. I mean, it's happened to me when I'm like, dude, we'll give you the food. Just go get. No, I don't want the food. I want the money.
Right.
Or you also have the guys who are like, oh, I don't have a job. I don't have this. Can you give me money? It was like, all right, bro, I gave you something yesterday. I'm not going to keep giving you food every day, but can you clean this up,
Right.
and we'll hook you up? No, I'm not going to be cleaning.
Yeah.
So and then they leave.
And
Or
they
then they
leave.
come back later that day and they steal.
Yeah.
It's like, dude.
Yeah.
And then at the end, I'm the bad guy. And they come in, and then I'm telling him to go in front of other people, and then I look
When
like an ass
and
for
when,
it.
when I was a manager here, I think I've told you this story, but when I was a manager here, you weren't here yet. It was another manager that I had, like coworker, and he was a little tough on people. He wasn't really like, he was for customer service, but like people who came to beg and like bother the business,
Zero tolerance?
he would get zero tolerance. Like,
Yeah.
He didn't care. Like this guy was physical. And which was good to a certain degree, And I remember very vividly one time, an old man came and he hangs around. He's still around. He hangs around. He has a long hair and long tail, and he begs for money, right? So that day he came to me and he asked me for some tacos, and I was like, yeah, just go to the kitchen and I'll tell him to give you the tacos to charge me, no problem. So then he goes to the other manager,
Oh, yeah.
and he's trying to like get him
Ask
something
everybody
out.
for
Yeah,
tacos,
right.
yeah.
And then he goes and tells them, "Oh, can you give me $20? I need it for CTA, something like that." He told him, and this other manager goes, "No, but if you clean the bathrooms, I'll give you the money." So the guy was like halfway to like put on his stuff, right, to like the gloves and all that, and he was gonna do it, and then he gets a phone call. He pulls out his phone, and then he pulls out a wad of cash, just like a wad of cash, man. Like, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And then he the other guy just lost it. He was like, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, dude, like what are you doing? And then he turns around and tells me, I don't need to clean bathrooms. I don't need to do nothing. I got more money than you.
Right.
I was dying, dude. I was like, what? Like the guy just pulls out a wad of cash.
Yeah.
Bro. Like, just
They just be finessing all day, man. Some of these
Yeah,
dudes
yeah.
just be out
And
finessing.
I mean, that actually taught me a lesson that day. Because I used to always, every time he would ask, I would give him food. But then it stopped after that. I was like, dude, no, bro. You got cash. You got money. Go pay.
Right.
You probably got more money than me.
Yeah.
Man, it's a hustle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's a
too
hustle.
bad.
They're
And,
just used to that.
and I believe in karma at the end of the day more than
Yeah.
anything. Like, I'm a very spiritual dude. We're talking about religion. I don't classify or fall under any religion, but I'm a very spiritual guy. I believe that whatever that guy, he's got it coming back around for him. Maybe he does have a wad of cash, but if he's got to go around being all dirty, bummy asking people for
That's on him.
$20, yeah, and that's his karma. That's his living karma right
Yeah.
now. Versus us, we maybe get scammed by a hobo every once in a while, but our hearts are in the right place.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
look at the lives we have as a result.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
It's
actually
just
very true.
experiences that, that change you, I guess, as you get older. And that's all I'm saying here. Do I hear a dog?
There was a dog barking a little bit, yeah. With okay, I also well, I think if because I know your reels sometimes pop up on my page on Instagram. So you're a landlord, right? How long
Yeah.
have you owned property?
About a year now. It was like last September.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was like last September. Yep, I take care of a triplex, so it's
Cool.
that's
But
a
it's all
challenge.
under
That's a
your name.
business in itself. Yep.
That's cool.
Yep. Yeah.
That's
So
really
that's
cool.
that's been dope. I've been super grateful for that opportunity too. That kind of fell in my lap too. Like I said, you ask and you shall receive. Like, be careful what you ask for in this life. Be careful
Yeah.
what you really want. So our minds are very powerful. But yeah, I've been doing that for just a little more than a year now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like also technology is making it easier to access
Information.
information to get stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like for example, when we got all this, like technology was a big play in it, like the documentation. A lot we didn't
Sure.
even have to go for meetings. A lot of the times it was just like send a DocuSign, you know,
Mm.
and everybody's able to get the DocuSign.
Sure.
Different offices. We didn't have to meet in a place, you know, waste gas, traveling, you know.
Yeah. Which even
So-
for me, it's been so easy just to look up different loans and different financing and different ways to work with the banks and stuff like that. Like I said, like technology being a huge part of it, just for the information, like it is much easier, much more digestible now just to understand this stuff. Where before maybe you had to pay a professional or you got to go to the library and
Or you
find the
had to
book
know
and then find the
someone
chapter.
to, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Versus now I can just ask a question into my phone and ChatGPT is gonna give me the
Yeah.
breakdown right away. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's really cool.
Do you guys own this building?
Mm-hmm.
Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, and with your, do you live in one of the units?
I don't. Nope. So
Okay,
this is
cool.
this is a bit outside of the city.
Cool.
That's kind of part of the benefits to it. Like, put you on a little game real quick. just the different taxes and the different regulations and stuff that happen outside of Chicago. Like property management, and just like inspections, they're pretty on you in the city. But if you go outside a little bit, you can end up finding something much cheaper with much more space and much less regulations. So you can get people in there and start generating revenue much quicker. Yeah.
Okay, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I do know that there's some places, like if you go like into the suburbs or something like that of Chicago, there's some places that are paying like triple, double the taxes because whatever their tax code or whatever is. I know
Okay.
Schiller Park supposedly is paying a lot in taxes. They're paying like double what people in Chicago pay.
I'm not.
Really?
I'm not
Supposedly,
aware,
yeah.
honestly.
I can
Yeah.
imagine some of those bougie areas and stuff for sure too. Which one of the things that's crazy about Chicago is the neighborhoods change so much. So like Logan Square pays one thing, but then Austin pays something else. But in a few years, Austin might be paying what that Logan Square rate is, and that happens in different suburbs and different towns too.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just at a slower or like a different rate because the city is just such a huge population, just such a huge economy going on here. So stuff changes pretty quick.
Okay, that's cool. And then would you recommend somebody like, oh, always buy property, or be like, nah, just rent? There's two like phases to it. You
Yeah,
know?
there definitely is. It really depends on what you want, and,
Right.
like what your goals
situation
are.
too, right?
Yeah.
Like financial situation.
Yeah, and like what are your goals as a person, or do you want to be in real estate? Do you want to be an investor? Like, there's a million different factors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually, I mean, what I hear a lot is like, oh, get a 3-flat or get a duplex or something like that. Live in one of them, rent the other ones, and then build from there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's other people who just get a family home and then just stay there.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
I think it's pretty
Bunch
cool.
of ways.
Depends
Yeah.
on your situation.
Yeah, it depends on
and-
situation.
And your comfort level, debt, and a lot of other factors.
Comfort level with that, yeah. Which for me, I'm really working on using this property to be my introduction towards getting like real bank financing. I've only been getting paid off my businesses for the last couple years. Again, I'm figuring out so the paper trails still getting solidified. But I'm like, okay, if I can get this financing for this property, get some equity for this property, and if I can show that money's coming in and that it's functioning well as a
Yeah, it's
business,
income, yeah.
they'll trust me with
Rental.
more financing. So the bank will give me some more money because they see I'm doing the right thing with this one.
That's true.
So that's why for me it's such a good thing because it's a decent amount of work. Cash flow is okay. A lot of people will tell you that like you can't really make a ton of money off owning property unless you have like many units.
Yeah.
And that's very true. But like I said, in terms of just like getting yourself in the game, getting your credit up, using it for
But
that
it's a
aspect is
numbers
very
game.
important.
So the thing is that you gotta have numbers to put on the table, and that's
Sure.
the beginning.
Yep.
The hardest part?
That's the hardest part.
Is that
And
pretty
my-
much how it was for you guys? You were able to, so you got a bank loan for this. You got a business loan
Yeah,
for
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
But you guys had to put that down payment
Yeah.
to show that you could get it started, but then that your business would mostly be able to take care of it.
Mhm.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
Fire.
I was fortunate enough to be guided by some old some mentors of mine, and you know they did guide me through everything, but I also have my older brother who already goes through, who already went through something similar with his business. So
Sure.
he also helped me out a lot.
Okay, great.
So, but he also told me like this is gonna change you for good. You're not gonna be as free as you used to be. You're not gonna, you gotta be a different person now, in a way. Like you gotta take shit serious. Cause I wasn't like a person to have like discipline, honestly. So, but it's something that I learned through life,
Sure.
right? Like everybody else. But no, I mean, it's been a very great journey. It's been an eye opener for me. I'm sure for you too. But yeah, it was a process. And in the beginning, actually, I didn't even know what I was doing. But the one thing about me is sometimes it benefits me, but sometimes it doesn't. I do read the contracts and I do, take my time to make a decision, which was annoying. I know to the sellers it was annoying.
Just because it took a little extra time to.
Yeah, because I'm different. I don't know.
But the sellers was your old boss.
Yeah,
That's right.
But still, I mean, I was like, hold on, man. Like, I don't fully trust the process.
Sure.
Hold on, let me educate myself a little bit on this. And then he's like, bro, it's just a signature. I'm like, no, wait,
Yeah.
not for me. Maybe for you, because you've done this before with your father and your attorneys, and
Yeah.
maybe for you, but not for me. What is this? And I would question everything. What is this? What is that? Am I gonna get a copy of that? And especially when they would want me to sign fast, like the DocuSign.
Sure.
Okay, but first give me some time. And a lot of the times, everybody signed,
You
but
were
I
the
was the
last
one that would take like 1 or 2 days, and then
Yeah.
they would call me like, "Dude, do you want this or not?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm reading this fucking 20 pages here, dude. It's not
Right.
easy, and I got something to do still."
Yeah.
So, even my brother got mad at me once. I'm like, "Dude, you're taking too fucking long for this." I'm like, but I just want to make sure that I'm not doing nothing stupid. It's just. I mean, AI wasn't an option for me back then. I'm sure it was. I just didn't
Yeah,
know that it
I don't think there's
existed.
anything wrong with that. I mean, what's the one very successful entrepreneur? He was a mentor of mine at one point. He told me that the devil's in the details. And so I think that's important. I don't think there's anything wrong with overlooking it or definitely not rushing it. There have been a handful of instances where I'm confident that I know what's going on, but it's just not totally black and white.
Yeah.
And I end up paying for something 2 or 3 times in a row because it didn't go right the first 2 times, or the contract wasn't exactly what we talked about because they slipped something in there and nobody read
Yeah.
it, nobody caught it.
Yeah.
I
So
think that's
like by
appropriate.
that time, like I got other properties. It was faster for me, like
Sure.
because I knew what document was what now. And now if I were to do it again, if we were to get another store or something, it would be faster, and I know what to look for now, exactly what to look for.
But you have some other properties? Do you have a few?
Well, for my home, and then
Okay.
me, my brother too. So my
Very
older
nice.
brother. So we've always done everything. We always done everything together. So it's like not like we just sign shit and that's it. And
Yeah.
we have to pay attention to the details because people are people. What can I say, man?
Yeah.
So it's been a journey. It's been a journey. It's been a learning experience for me. I think it's been a great journey for me. I think it's also been a great journey for you because you were the manager here at what, 20, 21,
20.
20 years old.
And then the owner at,
Yeah.
you said 26? Owner
Owner-
at 24 or something, really?
22.
22, yeah.
That's fire.
22.
So how old is your
My older
26,
brother's-
you're 32.
He's 34.
He's 34, so he's 2 years older than you.
Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing. I credit my older siblings to so much that I know. Even certain things where they didn't
Yeah,
necessarily
yeah.
really teach me, but I was able to still learn through them in different ways. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to, man. It's like I always told him, like, you're gonna make your own path at some point. You're gonna make your own way, but I hope you can take everything that we did wrong or that we didn't do
Yeah.
and take that with you so to become better than us. Like I've never like looked at him like, oh, you gotta stay lower than us. Always like, no, you like I want to see you, especially you, higher than me and my older brother. You know,
Sure.
like always. That's never been. I don't know. There's just no jealousy. There's nothing like
Yeah.
I would be more upset if I see you stay under us.
Sure, like maybe there were some teaching
Like,
points that you didn't get across.
Yeah. Because the way I saw it is like I had my older brother to guide me. He has 2 older brothers to guide him. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cheat code.
It's a cheat code, bro.
Yeah, it could be if you
Like
use it
if
the right way.
I don't respond the way that you need me to respond, then you also got another brother that might,
keep you accountable, get on you about it, and then sure, it'll just trickle down.
And he does. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah, he does.
And I think working as a family is so important too, just to like information and resources, just to be able to keep uplifting each other for real. The last few generations of mine got a little shaky. We were definitely not working together, went long times without interacting with each other and that sort of thing. But when you talk about building wealth and building a business, a lot of these really successful families, when you talk about generational wealth, they'll teach each other and they'll work together and keep the resources in the family.
I think for us Hispanics, we have something that's really bad, and I'll call it out because I don't care. I mean, it's true, man. A lot of successful Hispanics don't teach their kids. They're like, figure it out yourself. If I did it, you can do it. Or am I wrong?
No.
It's like, and I know business owners in this area that are like that in the mindset, and that's messed up, man. It's like, dude, this is your
I don't think they see the bigger picture.
Right, they don't see the bigger picture. They only see, I'm only gonna be alive, and this business is only gonna be alive until I go. But they don't see the picture, like, okay, you can build wealth here. You can really put your roots and your family here.
Yeah.
And you have an opportunity that your initial parents came here for, and now you're tossing it because you think that you earned it and your kids don't.
Yeah.
That's messed up, man.
Right.
But again, everybody to each his own. I can't control that. I can only control my children, my family members, even him. Man, I gave you advice. I think I gave him all the best advice I could, and he did everything opposite than what I told him. But it's part of life. I also did it with my older brother. You know, like, he would tell me, don't do this, you're going to...
Sure.
I did all the opposite he told me to do. It's part of life.
In a lot of ways, we got to learn for ourselves, right? But your point is,
but now you know
about like the dad was not passing the information to his children.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, if you gain 25 years of business and life experience, like, teach that to your seed while he's still young, Kent, before he's learning from zero, and then you guys will be at the same spot. Like, if you're here, if you're up, like, get him caught up with you.
Like, look, I get it. This is not like, I wouldn't want my kids to do this full time when they're older. But I do want them to utilize, the wealth that this will build. 100%. Do I want them here stocking? No. That's what I'm here for. That's what I, right now.
Sure.
But when they're my age, I want to see 6, 7, 8 stores from this store.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what I want their focus to be on. But that's just my wants. I also understand that he might be into music, and I also have to stay off. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to teach him what I know. I'm still going to teach him what I know. Maybe he can apply it to music.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe he can apply it to another industry that he's going to be successful at.
Yeah, you just don't want to leave them. We don't understand the people that leave their own family. Well, their dear ones with information that doesn't help them. Like, why do you want to just backtrack? It makes no sense.
And we can. I mean, I can only speak to him for Hispanic. I've seen it firsthand, and I'm not making this up.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, I actually felt that way too. But then I'm like, wait, hold on, man. What am I doing?
Sure.
Like,
which for us, it's always like, move out when you're 18.
Right.
Yeah, get your own money, figure it out, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Which my family, my family's Italian. They come from Pennsylvania, so they're from like the East Coast. They used to have a pasta company back in the day. This is probably like in the 60s or something like that. But it was doing fairly well. They passed it on to my grandpa. My great-grandparents came over and they started it. But there was just a disconnect there. There was honestly a couple generations of delinquency, drug issues and all sorts of stuff. So the pasta company closed. Grandpa ended up fumbling the bag. And then I come up, then my dad didn't really have the money for whatever was going on either, and he suffered from the same issues because his parents weren't really around because they were just running around doing their thing. And then me as a little kid, I hear stories of, oh, your great-grandpa used to have this big business and this nice house or whatever, and I'm like, what did we do wrong? Like, what happened that we weren't able to pass the information and the wealth? Because now my family just complains about money and acts like they're broke. And I'm like, okay, so it's on me. I work with my brothers a lot. It's like, let's figure out how we can start a new foundation. I don't know why obviously, I kind of know why we have to start a new foundation. But it's like, okay, let me figure this out, and then let me figure out how to continue it on, how to more importantly, like you said, teach it to your kids so they
Yeah,
can
yeah,
continue
yeah.
it, whatever avenue they go down.
Yeah, yeah.
But just to be able to have the wealth and the freedom, so they're not having to work back-breaking
There,
80-hour weeks.
there always has to be a brother. If you do have more brothers, how many brothers do you have?
I have 3 brothers.
Okay, dude. We're in the same situation, literally. There always has to be a brother that is like the brains. And you got, like, I've always said that, like, we got to keep each other, you know, if he's the brains, what are you good at? What am I good at? You know, if I'm the negotiator, then that's what I'm going to do for the family, for us, right? And we use that. We do use that. I mean, when I can't negotiate something like that we really need that's going to benefit us, like, my older brother's a really tough negotiator, you know. So I redirect. So there always has to be one that's, you know, like the brains, the negotiator, and then the one that takes action, right? Or the one that follows up. I'm really good at following up. I'm really good at, like, the disciplinary action,
Okay.
right? But, like, he's really good at executing things. You've gotten really good at executing things now, right? So we trust him for that. So it's like, as long as you guys have an understanding of each other and don't see each other like inferior or superior,
competition.
you know, or competition,
Sure.
you guys will be fine. Because, like,
And I mean, it starts with, like I said a while back, it starts with that tough conversation.
yeah,
You guys have to sit down and actually be like, I don't care if you end up making more money than me, I'm never going to hate you. I don't care if I end up failing, I'm never going to hate you. Like, you have to
Sure.
have that conversation. And there's a lot of families that don't.
don't.
And
at
then,
all.
like, oh, this person he has money, he has to take care of us.
Right.
It's like, no, the fuck you don't.
Yeah.
I don't got to take care of
You
nobody.
guys came from the same house.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then something that my brother's always said is, like, when you get in rooms with certain people, you have to know what questions to ask. If you get in a room with Jeff Bezos and you're talking about golf, it's like, dude, like, you're just
What
not,
are
you're
you
not
doing,
using
bro?
your resources
Sure.
properly.
Yeah.
You know, so it's stuff like that. It's like also,
Why
like,
waste an opportunity?
yeah. So, like, you have to know, and you have to have those conversations where you guys know what's going on. Don't just, like, go in a room and we're just gonna play basketball or whatever, and whatever happens. Like,
Sure.
actually come in with a game plan and know what's going on.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually, there's a lot of people, like, for me, it's actually the quite opposite. A lot of people, oh, you work with your family? That must be tough. That must be annoying. Or this stuff. It's like, no, it's actually not.
It's not.
You know, it's really rare the people that are like, oh, that's cool, you work with your brother. Or you work with your brothers.
Sure.
And it's like a lot of people are kind of like, I could never work with my family. I
Yeah.
could never work with my brother. It's
Yeah.
like,
And then, like, even if we do end up having mixed feelings, which does happen, I mean, we had a
We're human.
conversation the beginning of this year, and I was like, dude, we're not in competition. What are we doing? Why do you feel this way? This
Yeah.
is why I feel this way. Why do you feel that way?
Sure.
Fuck it. Let's kill it. We're done. This is
Yeah.
not what we're doing. Okay.
Which I
and
think
that's
having
it.
that amount of respect for each other and that ability to communicate is so important too. Like when I first started living and working with my brother, we grew up fighting. We grew up butting heads our entire lives. We weren't that close. But then we moved in together. We became roommates. I was probably like 20 years old or something like that. And same thing, we're butting heads arguing. It was tough. But after some time, our communication skills got better, our respect for each other, our
Yeah.
ability to just live and work together has increased. So I think maybe a lot of people just don't really have that.
Yeah,
So when they think about, oh, I'm supposed to work with a guy who used to bully me every single day, my older brother or whatever. But when you come up with these commonalities, when you realize, like, okay, the goal is for our family, everyone in the family, to be at a better place in life for generations, it's like, okay, we're all going to become a little more grown and figure out how to make it work.
I mean, in reality, something that you said, like the successful families in the world, I mean, they all live together in one mansion. Some of them even share cars, right? And it's like, if we only did that at this level nationwide, we would all be good, man. Like,
Yeah.
we could all really get along and really take care of our family members,
Yeah.
right? And then just get one home for the whole household, you know, or a farm if your family's that big, and you get some family members to understand that they have to grow the shit so that the rest can eat.
Sure.
And then there has to be some that go and get money. You know, and maybe you're not good at getting money, but maybe you're good at growing,
Yeah.
right? Like maybe you're good at cleaning, you know, like it's
Like you
just
said, with like the
communicating.
negotiator, the executor, everybody has to play their
everyone
role.
has a function, yeah.
Yeah, no.
And I don't ever overstep my brother on any, even him. I don't overstep decisions he takes. If I don't agree with it, we talk about it. there has been one or two instances where it's like, no, dude, you're stupid. But like I know because of my experience that this is not gonna work, and I know there's been times where he doesn't like that. But then I explain it. Our older brother, he doesn't explain. I have to be the one to decipher his brain
Okay.
to figure out why he did that because I know him a little more. But I never allow any of my brothers to like disrespect him. And he never allows the rest to disrespect me and vice versa, you know, and we all
Sure.
look out for each other because it's like we're all brothers at the end of the day, and we're all going to see each other regardless. We're all going to be there regardless in
Sure.
Christmas, you know. We're all, it's
Right,
like,
we better figure this out.
right,
Yeah.
like, so I don't know. I don't think it's bad working with you. I've never felt like it was bad working with my brothers. I'm actually grateful that we're able to.
Yeah.
I've always said that. I would if I could do it again, I'll do it again. No problem, no question. Let's go.
That's amazing. Which your parents are probably proud too, right? Like your parents are probably very enthusiastic just
Yeah.
towards your success, all of you working together.
Yeah, I mean, our parents, we really didn't get guidance from them, but we did get the basics of like
Values.
staying together,
The basic values.
right? Like don't disrespect each other. Like like you're never gonna catch me yelling at my older brother or even cussing him out. You know, and even when you do it, because I seen you do it to him, I look at you like, what's wrong with you, bro? Like, you know, because it's one thing my grandfather taught us is like, don't ever disrespect your older brother. And that's how I learned. I learned because I did it once as a kid, and my grandfather was there, and he's like, I better not ever hear you do that again to your brother, ever in your life.
Sure.
Even if I'm not here. And it just stuck. So you never catch me yelling at my older brother. And actually, that's probably like the only person I lower my head to. Like he could be punching me. He could be like just yelling at me. You're not gonna see a reaction from me. You're
Really?
just. I don't know. I have tremendous respect for him. I don't know. I couldn't do it. I couldn't.
I'm thinking of a way to word it. It's not really okay. Yeah, he's our older brother and everything, but it's not really like, oh, I only respect him because he's my older brother. Because he also took the role of an older brother the right way too. He's like,
Yeah.
I have to be the example. I have to do the stuff I gotta do. I have to sacrifice the stuff I have to sacrifice too. So like he wasn't also just like, oh, I'm an older brother. You guys do whatever the hell I tell you guys to.
Sure.
So it's like it's also like for myself. Okay, I'm the
He
youngest
takes that
brother.
role.
You have to take your role properly as
Sure.
well.
So he was like a real leader for you guys.
Yes,
Yeah.
it wasn't like he's just the older brother and
And
I
what
was
I
born
say
first.
goes.
Whatever. No, like
Right.
he also took his steps to get like for us to put him on a pedestal. I guess you can say.
Like if, for example, if the family's fighting about money issues, whatever, like he'll be like, you're in the wrong, he's not in the wrong, and that's it. And then we don't fight about it. Like, all right, well, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Sure.
I guess. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Which I guess having that third opinion too often
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
helps.
yeah.
If there's two of you talking about one thing, to have that external voice to be able to come in. The
And then
non-biased
we have
one
those
too, right?
instances where he thinks both of us are stupid, and then it's just crickets. Okay.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Dude.
I want to ask you, Jacob, with your politics and all that. Kind of want to go back to that. Is there a certain goal you have with you pursuing a little bit more of politics?
Not necessarily.
Do you have a message?
So I have a message. Well, okay, so like I said before, I really want to just be able to reach as many people as I can. My message, self-love, bring the people together. Like I said before, like I got into politics through event organizing. My whole thing is there's a lot more reasons for us to be friendly and to enjoy each other's company and really just love each other. I'm just a super loving guy. I believe we're all here living our very unique experiences on Earth. We could have been born anytime, any place. But I'm sitting here with you guys because we both just so
Yeah.
happen to be in the community at the same time in
Right,
this
right.
very specific spot. So again, it's really just like, how can I tell as many people as I can that we should really just open up our hearts to each other and really just love each other and just be accepting? There's so much negativity and there's so much divisiveness happening in the world right now. And I just think I really believe that the world has been, our world as we know it has been set up like this. Like, we live in a toy box. Everything is centered around consumerism. It's all lights and flashy stuff. Our phones, that blue light is literally reprogramming your brain and your stress that you feel. First thing in the morning, last thing at night. Like, the world is created for us to just not be happy. That's just the way the consumer world is. I don't know how far we want to get into it for real, but whoever set it up that way, I'm not going to get too into it, but that's the reality that we live in. But it doesn't have to be that way. People are just so scared to interact with each other. People with their headphones, there's just such a disconnect in humanity right now.
Yeah,
my
there
message is to decrease that disconnect, and whether it's through politics or through music or through event organizing, I want to figure out how can I have the biggest impact on the world in that way. Like, how can my legacy be that dude really just brought everyone together, especially in a world so crazy where people just want to argue and disagree with each other. Like, Jacob was able to find that commonality and bring us together. So that's really what I want to get across. Like, through politics, I don't know if it's the best avenue. I honestly don't think it is. I really, as of now, honestly don't have intentions to run for the same position. My business has been taking off a bit, and I've been traveling more for work and stuff like that. So just kind of my point before about I don't want to neglect the position. I've been out of town a bit lately, and just as my business grows, I'm out of town more and more often. I think I'm going to take a break from it, but as everything else continues, if it lines back up again in the future, I won't hesitate to jump on it. But just with the resources where my mind and my energy is at right now, I think it's most appropriate for me to just focus on the other avenues and things that I'm doing, because I'm still just having a big impact on people, and that's to me what's most important.
And you're very young. You're definitely at a time where like you can still do that and experience more. You know, you still got a good 6 years till you're 30. You know, and that's when I really started thinking about my future. At 30, when I hit 30, I was like, man, I'm 30. Fuck, my back hurts already. You know, like, like I'm not that young anymore. So yeah, I gotta start, being strategic about my movements, basically. So before that I did, but not as often as I do now.
Yeah,
at all. Like,
which that's kind of me too. Like, I've done a bunch of stuff. When I was 8, I've traveled all over the world. I spent a couple years. I lived in different countries. I've been all over the place.
Cool.
I came back, like I said, did the musician thing, did the events organizing thing. I'm in politics right now while still doing events, while I still have a passion for culture and traveling. It's like, okay, these young 20s have been just experimenting, trying a bunch of things, and now I'm like seeing what sticks and what I'm really into, and I can just grow and build off of that.
that's amazing.
Where did you live?
I lived in Australia. That was a pretty exotic one.
Jeez.
Yep, I was in Latin America for a while. I was in Mexico for about a year, a little less than that. I've been to Europe a few times now, probably like 3 or 4 times. I did like an exchange student program for the high school out there one time. Yeah, so that was pretty unique. Yeah, but I was really kind of doing the same thing out there. I was just traveling around. People be like, Americans have crazy reputations around the world. We mostly live in our bubble of the U.S. and don't really get out there, but we are the center of attention on a global standpoint. Like, all of our news, it's global news. People would often know more about politics and what's going on in my country than I would. So when I would leave, people would always be challenging me and questioning me, or, oh, you're from Chicago, you got a gun? Somebody said that to me in Paris, France, when I was ordering a freaking kebab, and I was like, damn, that's the reputation Chicago has? Yeah. I was like, then I'm ordering a sandwich, and this guy thinks I got a gun on me? But that's just kind of the reality to it. So my thing then was like, I want to just go around and interact with different ways of life and understand different ways of life and share my own while I learn from all these different people.
A couple weeks ago, I was by 26th Street, and I saw a guy on a scooter with a gun.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to be
fair, right? I know. I totally understand.
We don't help ourselves either.
This guy was one of those lift scooters, and he's just like with his pouch bag.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I'm like, oh
between
my.
Between the street violence we have here, but even like the mass shootings, like the school shootings, that doesn't happen anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
And for us to see it on the news, maybe it was like a year or two ago, but it was like a semi-regular thing for a while. We wouldn't freak out when we would see the news headline came up, because we'd be like, oh, another one, that's too bad. But so we do have a wild reputation.
Yeah, we don't help ourselves too.
Yeah.
And with the countries that you lived in, which one so far has been your favorite?
Honestly, man, probably Mexico for real.
Really?
I had so much fun in Mexico. One of the things that's super unique is it's such a big country. Similar to the U.S., it's such a big country, and there's so many different cultures in Mexico There's different accents. There's different slangs.
Yeah.
There's different types of food. There's different climate. Everywhere I would go felt so different, and the people were honestly so great. When I was out in Europe, I was always traveling broke. I was one of those guys. You know what I mean? I'd get to the country and I'd kind of figure it out. I would like work as I was going, that sort of thing. If I was struggling with sometimes I wouldn't have enough money. Food would be an issue, or sometimes accommodation and stuff like that. People would be in certain like wealthy countries. People would like look at me like a crazy person and just walk away, try to get away from me. When I was in Mexico, man, people were so welcoming. Just like the
There's
culture out
always
there,
food, bro.
they were so kind. Like I said, just willing to give.
All you need is an abuela or a tia to look at you, bro. And when they
Right.
see you're skinny, that's it. Come in, we're gonna eat.
You didn't have to see you're skinny. They just, ¿Tiene hambre? I'd be like,
Yeah.
"Sí." Or even if I said no, they would still be like, "Come mijo." Sí. Like hooking it up. Yeah. And they would have a limited amount, but they would always just be still so quick to share. And it was just such a beautiful culture, as well as like freeing too, man. Like there's not cameras everywhere. People aren't always just trying to record and be in your business, especially in some of these smaller cities, smaller towns. You can still just hop in the back of somebody's truck and ride across town to get your ride or whatever it is, versus here people are so scared of each other, and rightfully so. But in Mexico, people talk about cartels and all these different things, but man, that wasn't my experience. I interacted with some dudes who were pretty shady. I did see some wild things out there. I met some crazy people, but as a whole, it was just like, it felt so free and it felt super welcoming, super loving, and I just had such a good time down there.
What year was it?
This was 2019.
Jeez,
2019.
Nice.
Yeah.
that's actually
Maybe 2018.
There's a lot of people who say that they're like, "Oh, I want to travel the world," or "I want to live somewhere for something,"
Yeah.
and like, that's scary. I think that's scary. I wouldn't be able to go to like live in Australia. I
Yeah.
couldn't.
Which honestly, man, in hindsight, when I look back at some of the stuff I was doing, it is like, man, God is real. Like the things that I went through, and when I was a young guy, just like living it, I was kind of like, yeah,
Yes,
whatever.
yeah.
I'm just having a good
You're
time.
still young, bro.
Right? Hey, you're right.
Younger.
When I was a younger guy, I was just like living it, doing it. But in hindsight, some of that stuff is crazy.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, man, who let me do that? I'm like, but
What was I doing?
Yeah, man. Like, how did I
That's
get
the
myself
young.
in those
That's
situations?
the young brain. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
just
how it
like the
works.
consequences, I just was not weighing it out. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
Wait
I
till
was
you're
being watched
30. You
over.
look back on that.
You're gonna be like, "How am I not dead?"
I'm kind of like that already. I'm kind of like, man, how did I do all those crazy things? Just taking insane risks for no reason other than just like the thrill of it, to be in the moment or whatever. So it is crazy in hindsight.
So you would just take a one-way flight and then whatever
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, when I was in Mexico, I was doing a lot of like, I was staying in hostels
Okay.
mostly. So that'd be like little cheap hotels. You share the room with like 10 people. There's like a common kitchen and different vibes like that. So I would do like volunteer work at these places. So I'd have free accommodation. We'd make meals together and stuff like that. And then I would be able to just explore these towns and cities. So I would just pull
That's
up
cool,
and
bro.
wherever I felt like going, that's where I would go. I'd be in one spot for a couple weeks, maybe a couple months at a time. Sometimes only like a couple days at a time. But I was just, somebody just came from Oaxaca and told me how great it was.
I'm
In
gonna go.
Puerto Escondido, yeah. So I was like, bet I'm gonna go check it out. And then that's exactly what I would do.
That's crazy, dude. That is so crazy. And I'm sure the experiences have to be like crazy.
Yeah, man. It honestly shaped me so much for who I am now. Just like the level of confidence that I gained doing that. It's like, man, I was still technically a teenager at the time.
Yeah.
It's like if I'm a teenager and I was able to navigate through all these scenarios, like you got to solve real problems. People freak out because the ice cream machine's not working at McDonald's or whatever. People get all mad over all sorts of things. Like when you're out there on your own, you need to figure out you got to do some problem solving.
Yeah, I've traveled alone, and it's a different vibe. It's a way different vibe because you on your own. You really are on your own.
You really don't know it. You don't know the streets. You don't know
Yeah.
it.
The
So it's
people, how they're gonna react.
For sure.
You know, if maybe you're gonna do something wrong and
Yeah.
somebody's gonna get upset and
Yeah.
gonna come bully you. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What does your parents think?
Man.
Did they?
question.
He's gonna say, "I did. They,
I didn't
they
even
didn't
tell
know."
him.
Right? No, my mom, and that's what I think when I'm like, man, who let me do that? I'm like, Mom, why did you let me go? But she would always tell me, like, she was worried about it. She would pray for me, she'd want me, she would call me every week. She'd be like, once a week, call me, and I would. She was always very worried. She didn't know where I was going, what was going on. We're not Mexican, so she just hears what she sees on the news, and I'd be like, "Don't believe that, Mom. It's fine. I'm going." She also always let me be independent, and she always believed in me.
2019, how old were you?
I was 18. Yeah. Yeah. So I was out there just wild and just being free. And at the time, I didn't really think anything of it. I was like, oh, okay, I just finished high school. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm going to go just explore.
Mexico.
Yeah. Yo
Australia.
sabía que tenía ganas para aprender más español. Yo siempre estuve trabajando en restaurantes mexicanos. Entonces, por eso tenía ganas para conocerlo un poco mejor. Pero igualmente no sabía que... I didn't know what was going to happen. No sabía que era a pasar.
I think that's the best feeling because I haven't gone international, but I've been in the States, and I think that's the best feeling. Like when I went to Utah, I went out by myself for the first time. Now I love it. I love going to Utah now. That's like my getaway place.
Yeah.
And it's like, but when I went there the first time, and I met some great people over there, and now we're friends. Still,
Yeah.
You know, and it's like. That would have never happened, and if I would have never taken that initiative to go, you know, and take
For
a
sure.
risk, you know.
And going by yourself makes such that difference too. I think about that all the time as well. Like if I went with friends, I'd be hanging out, interacting with them the whole time.
Yeah.
But being by myself just forced me to interact with other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's so crazy, dude.
Yeah, it was crazy. I pulled up to San Luis Potosí. I don't know if you're.
Yeah, yeah.
Never, yeah. I mean, I've heard of it, but
Yeah.
I've
Right,
never
right,
been.
sure. So it's like central Mexico. It's like central kind of north. It's like right in the middle and like north a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled up, I got out of the airport, and I was like, what did I do? I was like, what did I do getting myself here? I'm looking around, I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like, I just sent it. I'm taking the taxi into town. You got to, like, drive through the desert before you get to the city. It's like a proper city. I had to drive through the desert and just seeing the ranchos and just seeing everything that was out there, and I was just like, where am I? Like, what is happening right now? And my Spanish was okay, but it was
Yeah, yeah.
nowhere near it is nowadays. Like I could put together sentences and communicate a little bit, but man, I had to work at the front desk. It was like after my first day being there, I was like sitting upstairs. They had like a patio, and I was chilling, and I was like, wait, in like an hour I have to go work at the front desk, and I'm not able to speak any English. These people don't know a word of English. Like it's not somewhere where it's not Cancun where they can break it down a little bit. Like these people don't know
Nothing.
hello. They do not know hello. Like they don't know any English at all. And I just got so much anxiety. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? Like this is madness. But you do it anyways, and you learn. And it was, like I said, an amazing experience. And it
What
really
did you
shaped me for who I am
say?
now. I learned no te
Hola.
preocupes because everybody kept telling me no te preocupes because I kept being like mi español no muy bueno. I was like saying it all sorts of messed up. Like they would be telling me I'd have to like get their number or something. I would just slide them the keyboard just to type it in themselves. And everybody no te preocupes, no te preocupes. And I was like, I don't know what that means.
So you were
but
just getting hired on the spot most of the time?
I would often reach out beforehand
Yeah.
if I know like okay like next week I want to go over there. I would like find different places, and like the travel culture is much more popular in majority of the world than it is the U.S.
Mhm.
So many cities just have cheap, easy accommodation where you can just pull up and do these sorts of things. So I'd probably reach out like a week ahead and just see what the dealio was, and if they told me yeah you could stay here for free, just help us out with that or do that. Like I said, sometimes it would be cooking in the kitchen, or sometimes I was working reception, or there were other places that did like surfing lessons and stuff like that on the beach. So there was all sorts of stuff that I would be able to get into.
What was the craziest job you did?
In Mexico or in general?
Yeah, in Mexico.
The craziest job I did in Mexico was pretty. The actual jobs were mostly pretty chill. It was
No,
mostly
like
just,
is there
working
like
for
one
myself.
that you were just like a year ago I was in high school and in Mexico doing this.
I didn't really have that mindset
No.
at the time. The mindset was more like I'm free. I didn't do well in school. I was not an academic guy at all. Like poor GPA, detentions, all that stuff was going on. So I was just happy just to be on my own and doing my thing.
Okay.
Like I said, the jobs weren't too crazy. It would be like the adventures that I would get into aside from that. That would be pretty wild.
I got lost in Arizona.
Like in the desert or
Yeah.
something.
At
What the
night.
hell?
Yeah. Because I took a cab, and like numbers got switched from the address they gave me.
Yeah.
And then it ended up being like some random dude, and the cab driver didn't speak English or Spanish. So my luck.
In Arizona, right?
No,
Why?
and then I'm walking, and there's like this sign, like beware wildlife. And I'm like, what wildlife? It's a fucking desert. And then I see a sign of a hyena. There's hyenas in there. I didn't know. And then you hear them.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
But then, I mean, I ended up walking to, like, I think it was like a gas station, and they called a cab, and then they took
Okay.
me to the right address. But
Yeah.
I got lost for like a good 40 minutes.
Okay.
And it was like, oh,
It could go down out here.
right.
Like, I'm alone in the desert.
Yeah, I'm like
it
alone,
could take a turn.
dude. And I just remember I walked back because I was paying attention where the driver was going.
Mm-hmm.
And I do recall passing the gas station. So I was like, all right, I'm going to walk back that way.
Yeah.
Hopefully there is a gas station.
Yeah.
But no, it's eerie when you get lost. And I actually took a picture. I have it on my phone. And it's just like, you just see. And then I got to see. It was beautiful, honestly, because the weather was nice. It wasn't cold. Like, usually in the desert it's cold. But it's dark. It's dark.
Yeah.
Like, it's just dark.
Yeah, no street lights and all
There's
that.
no
Just the
lights.
moon.
Yeah.
That's the only light.
But yeah, I think experiences like that really make you find out who you are. I don't know. Do you agree or?
You
Yeah.
had that planned? You were like, at 18, I'm going to go do this.
Not really. So I did take one trip after I finished high school. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go out to Europe for a while. I was always working, I always save some money, so I was like, I just want to travel and just see what it's like out there a little bit. And I flew to Italy, and when I got out there, I really learned about all this different traveling culture. Just meeting other travelers, they're like, oh, I'm from Argentina, and I've been on the road for a year, or oh, I'm from England, and I've been out here for I just came from Bali. Like, I really just learned about the culture of just like traveling around like that. And then it was after I came home from there, it was like, okay, where am I gonna go next? So I was like, all right. Like I said, I was really interested in Mexican culture, so like, let me go there. It's a bit cheaper. I can navigate around, see what's gonna happen. I was there for like say close to a year, and then after that, I was like, okay, what am I gonna do next? And I just kind of kept that up for a while.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
It takes guts to do that.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people who probably
Props
just
to you,
like, oh,
man.
think it, but I don't want to get killed or I don't want to get this.
Wait, that's the music too. That's anything. Oh, I'm scared to sign off the contracts on this house. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
in
yeah,
debt.
yeah,
Oh, I'm
yeah.
scared they're gonna say something about that. Like,
Yeah.
there's
It's a
always a million
mindset.
reasons not to do something.
Yeah.
A million
It's up
reasons not to
here.
do anything.
Just
Yeah.
gotta do
I
it
think
up
it's
here.
it's like saying, like you said earlier, how bad do you want to do it?
Mhm.
That's when it comes in, you know.
Yeah. And it's too bad if people's fears do hold them back. Because for me, it was always like, okay, this traveling's been so dope. And I came home and I was like, okay, what can I do next that's going to be so dope that's just going to keep that energy up? And then I found the next thing, and it was doing music and doing shows. And I was like, okay, how can I keep it up? I don't want to just be like, oh, yeah, the coolest thing about me is I lived in Australia 5 years ago. Like, I didn't want to be, oh, I lived in Australia
It
10
ends
years
there,
ago.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
No,
So just keep
that's
on
cool.
making those moves and taking those leaps of faith.
That's crazy. That is amazing. Especially if you have the means to do it, right? Like, why not?
Mhm.
Just go. Just do
Which
it.
anybody can
Right.
can create that, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I said, I was working when I was in high school. I always had like 2 jobs at a time. I used to get annoyed because my teachers would get on me for not doing my homework. I'd be like, "Lady, I worked more than you." Like I do this and then I leave, like sounding like somebody's uncle or something. You know what I mean? But it all came from stuff that I was able to do for myself, and I am blessed because I didn't necessarily have other external things that were distracting me or that
Mhm.
were like swallowing up my resources. I'm grateful that I was at least focused enough to be like, okay, I'm gonna stack this money and
Yeah,
go
yeah,
for
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Or that I,
mean,
could even leave and come back in the first place. You know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I mean? So there's definitely a ton of factors there.
And then you actually took action to do it.
But then, right? Yeah,
Because
for sure.
a lot of people, I mean, how many stories do you know of people who always wished to go to Australia and never did? Right? Or, I mean, I would love to go to Australia one day, but I also have kids and this and everything else running, and
Sure.
I can't just get up and leave yet.
Mhm.
But one day I will, you know? But
Yeah.
I hope that when that day comes, I do just go instead of just finding another excuse, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I do want to go.
Sure, which I was saying, I've always been really grateful for that too. When I was living in Australia, I was maybe like 19, 20 or something, and I'd be hanging out with people who were 25, 26, sometimes even people who would be like 32, and we would be in pretty much the same position. They'd be like, oh yeah, I started my job, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, so I'm over here. Or they'd be, like I said, 5, 6 years older than me, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, so I'm just doing this. But I'd be like, okay, I also don't know what I'm doing with my life, but I'm doing this. But I'm grateful that I was able to come to this realization when I was 18, 19 to
Mhm.
just reset, try something, and
Yeah,
feel
of
where I'm
course.
at versus 10 years
Yeah,
later.
Yeah,
know.
for sure. I think you did it right, man. Honestly.
I think you're way ahead of a lot of 22-year-olds.
24.
No, he's 22. Oh,
24.
24. Yes,
Yep.
you're right. 22, and he got elected. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I think he's ahead of a lot of 24-year-olds. I'm sure. And I'm sure if you probably talk to somebody as your age and they graduated high school, they went to college, and they've been at the same job, it's like, so what do you got going on? And it's like, oh, same thing.
No, and there's a
Yeah.
lot that graduated high school and they're still in their parents' house doing nothing.
Yeah, this guy's peaking at high school. He used to pick on me because I was bad in school or whatever, and now they're just living at their parents. But I think something like, oh, you seem further ahead than most 24-year-olds. I think that's like such a relative thing to say. There's so many different ways that somebody could live and choose to
Yeah,
live their life.
That too.
I've always been around older people, so I do always feel like I'm the old soul. I'm the youngest of my brothers. My brothers are like 28 now, so I've always been hanging around people 5 years older than me, that sort of
Okay.
thing. Again, I just feel like it's so relative. There's some young people who are very mature for their age, whether they've experienced a lot or they haven't. And there's some people who are, like I said, just
Reckless.
the levels of immaturity from adults as well. Like,
Yeah.
just because you're grown does not mean you're grown.
I mean, I have friends at my age group that are really immature still. So it's like,
yeah.
all right, dude.
It just depends on
It
them.
just depends. I mean, it's your choice. It's your life, not mine, bro.
Yeah, and for me, people have always seen me as the young guy and like discredited me for being like 4 or 5 years younger,
Right.
and that always would frustrate me because I would be sometimes 18 and some 25-year-olds would be like, "Oh, you don't know what you're doing, you're a baby," even though we're living the same lifestyle in the
Mhm.
same place. And I'd always be like, "Yeah, you got to give me a little credit because maybe when you were 18, you weren't doing all this, but
Yeah.
I am not the
You
same type
wouldn't
of 18.
be ready mentally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No, definitely.
I don't
No, props to you,
blame
dude.
people for that either, though. Too, you know. Got to meet everyone where they're at. Like,
Yeah.
if they only know themselves when they were 18, so when they see me at 18, they're gonna just try to piece it together, you know. And that used to offend me and bother me, especially like hanging out with older girls. I'd be 22 and they'd be 25, acting like I'm a little baby, and I'd be like, "Yo, what? Like, I'm not that much younger than you for real. Like, I'm paying my bills. Like, I got a full-time job. Like, all this other stuff going on." But then they'll go for the 28-year-old guy who's still living at home, but maybe he looks a little older or something.
He's
So.
28 though.
Right,
But
just
he's
like
28,
perspective,
right,
you know
Right,
what I mean?
But that
Just
doesn't make him
perspective.
mature. Yeah.
Yeah, age doesn't really. Yeah, you said it. Yeah, age doesn't mean you're old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's the same as, like when I compare myself to people, which I've had before, because it's like they look at all this now and they see everything that we've accomplished, and they're like, oh yeah, but you're 32. I'm like, yeah, dude, but I started working when I was fucking 12.
Yeah.
I'm just worked these last 5 years, you know. Like,
Sure.
My journey started at 12 years old, you know, whether you liked it or not.
Sure.
So it's like, no, we're not on the same level, bro. So, I mean, it's just, but you know that as a person, right? You don't have to say that to everybody, but you do have to know that here. It's like, there's a
Right.
reason why this person is ahead and this person is not. you know?
Sure.
Everybody has a story, everybody has a life, everybody make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Which, on the topic of that, too, I see nowadays with the information that's coming out through technology and that sort of things, I see young people starting businesses, and I see a lot of young entrepreneurs finding success. A lot of it stuff's online, so a lot of that stuff's fake, too, you know what I mean? But there's some young kids out here who are just focused, and they have the means to start their businesses, their online
for me,
e-commerce stores
for me,
and
it's
stuff.
the kids that are like coding and all that, dude, and they like, as soon as they turn 18, some of them are doing it like at 15. They're like coding programs and they're selling it for millions of dollars.
Right. Or like these Shopify kids who start like an e-commerce store selling some Alibaba.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
super
amazing.
cool.
That really is. Like,
But that kid, that's a focused 16-year-old. You know what I mean?
right. Well, isn't it like what's his name? Bill Gates, I think. Bill Gates from Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
Is
What
it?
about him?
What about him? Yeah.
Because he started coding at like 10.
Okay.
Because a lot of people give him, oh, he used this and this and that, but he always has used that. Like, yeah, but I started coding at 10.
Sure.
Dude, I didn't
To just
code
walk
at
into this.
30 years old, you know? Like,
Yeah.
So it's like it takes time to do something, you know. And most of these kids that are also doing that, they're also starting at a really young age, you know, showing that interest.
Right.
So I mean, that's to me.
And they have
that's
the
amazing,
means.
yeah.
They have the means to start early. They don't have to
Yeah.
wait till they graduate.
It's
or till
crazy
they
to
get
me how all they
25
need is a
something.
laptop, you know, or
Yeah.
like and
Yeah.
dedication.
Sure. And now these kids, yeah, they can't just figure it out. They can't just get something going. But there's There's still going to be 25-year-olds who
Mhm.
want to eat Cheetos in their mom's basement. And then, right, there's going to be those 16-year-olds that now have the tools to start million-dollar businesses from their house.
Yeah, that's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
There was a guy not that long ago, a kid, I'm sorry, that was like 13 or 14, who had just started like this lemonade company. And I think he just sold it. I don't know if it was last year or this year, for a lot of money. Dude.
Yeah.
But he started the company at like 14 years old.
Sure.
And I think he sold it to Snapple, if I'm not mistaken. Which is Dr. Pepper, right?
Yeah.
I think.
That's fire.
Dude.
You can do anything.
It was a lemonade stand, you know?
Yeah. Right, you asked me what my message is. You know, one of the other things I do like youth programming. So I own a nonprofit called Build Arena, and I teach young adults how to monetize their art and monetize their projects. That's one of the things, too. I'm so big on being like, you can literally start, and you can actually do anything you want in this life. Like, you can start any business. You can start whatever your interests are, whatever your passions are. I want people to know that they can pursue that and live, make enough money to live, as well as do something they care about all day. So you make that example of the young kid who started a lemonade stand and then was able to sell it to Snapple. Like, I think that's such a good example of someone who's, we've all heard of like the kid doing a lemonade stand.
Right.
But to be like, bro, you can actually really grow this and turn it into something real and
Actual
be paid
company,
for
yeah.
the rest of your life
Right.
off of this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's true. That's amazing. I'm not sure if it was Snapple, but I know it was one of the
Something
juice
big.
companies, like big
Okay.
juice companies. They did buy him out. And it was
Yeah.
like, wow, that's crazy. He's not even 18 yet. He already got life.
Sure.
You know, he's way ahead of life.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I'm sure he's able to help his parents, you know, and all that stuff. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, Jacob, we know you're the youngest politician. You got elected at 22 years old. Okay, we know that one of your goals in life, the legacy you want to leave behind, is to have people get together. You want people to disconnect from that world of always being on their phone, always being in their own little world, and connect and be together. Right? We know you're a landlord. We know that you are going to start dedicating more time to your business. So let's zoom in 5-10 years from now. What do you think your life looks like?
5-10 years? I think 5 and 10 years is pretty different answers. We can start with 5
Five,
years.
let's start with 5.
We can start with 5 years. I definitely want to see. I want to see $1 million.
Okay.
Definitely by the time I'm 30. I
Okay.
anticipate, because we could talk about like some financial goals.
Okay.
Even aside from that, I'm trying to think like how can I really answer that question in the best way. I always bring stuff back to freedom, right? I don't want to have to work a job. I don't want to have a boss or people nagging over me. I understand you have relationships that maybe aren't the best, but I want to be able to be in control of all those things. I've been able to achieve that at a pretty young age, so it's like, how can I keep that up and how can I expand it? Some of the things that I do right now that are like small, that are like pretty small, it's like I just started a nonprofit a couple years ago. I just started my events company a couple years ago. I do a handful of amazing events a year. I do a handful of amazing youth workshops a year, and I own this property. These are all things that I've been able to start just within the last couple of years, and they've showed me the key to financial freedom and that independence. I want to be able to grow those things so I can continue doing more or less the same things that I do now, just on a larger scale and impacting more people.
What about 10 years?
10 years, really the same thing. Like I said, to get a little more...
Just larger, bigger scale.
Pretty
Just
much what I'm
everything.
doing now, just larger. I do a bunch of dope shows with businesses and different individual artists, independent artists around Chicago. I want to be global. I love to travel. The workshops that I do, I think, are super appropriate. Right now, I do them for young kids and like a lot of it's like at-risk youth, that sort of thing. I'm like, man, the information that I'm giving out is so valuable. Like I said, for me, a lot of it's centered around the financial freedom I've been able to achieve, doing things that I love to do. But I could see those being on a global scale too. I'm like, I don't understand why somebody wouldn't pay me to go travel overseas to give this same exact workshop to somebody anywhere in the world. Even my social media right now, I got my little following. I'll get 1,000 views. I'm like, oh, 2,000 views on a video, nice. Like, add some zeros to the back of that. I have
Right.
one property right now. Add a 0 to that one. Add 2 zeros to that one. It's like I said, a lot of it's really the similar stuff that I'm doing. But I recognize a lot of it comes from life experience, becoming a better communicator, a better person myself. We could talk about, oh, you're ahead for a 24-year-old or whatever. Like, I've done a ton of stuff, but I recognize there's a ton of stuff that I need to learn and get better at. And I think, like, man, if in my first year of doing music and events, if I made $1 million in that first year, I wouldn't have known what to do, and there's probably a bunch of mistakes that I would have made. But I
Right.
see that my process, my timeline, and understanding these things all just needs to come together. So as I grow and get bigger as a business person and as an individual, my skills to handle the stress or the pressure or have some of those tough conversations, I recognize I need to be better at all of those things before I can really get that big pot or that big, whatever that monetary value is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
It's
that
awesome.
is-
It's really good to see somebody with goals.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Is
sharing
there-
that with us. That's what I meant to say.
Is there any other question you have before we close out?
No, I think we.
Okay. One last thing
You're
from you,
good.
Jacob. That is your camera. If there's a message you want to tell the world, it's all yours.
Message I want to tell the world: love yourself, love your neighbor. The things that we can do in this life, it comes from yourself. You need to believe in yourself, and then you need to have people around you that can believe in you and your message as well. And then you find more people that have that same belief and love for themselves and what they want to do. Grow it. Just keep growing it. Whether you want to start a business or you want to be fit for the summertime, know where you want to go and know that you can really achieve those things, whatever it is at all. And then please find a team, find those people who are going to support you and help you grow. For me, it's my brothers. For you guys, it sounds like it's your brothers too. It could be anyone. Find some people who are ready to go to war and find that mission and have those common values, because you can achieve it, and you absolutely will.
And
Yeah.
sometimes it's not family that helps you. Sometimes it's the people from the outside world that help you more than your families.
Yeah.
Been there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to emphasize that too. Like I said, for me, a lot of it's been my family, because that's just where
Right.
Yeah.
I found really I started this journey on myself. Started doing the events and the shows just by myself, and then it turns out a couple years later, my brother and our values lined up enough so we were like, okay, we can actually put this together. But it all comes from within, for real. That's the main
Yeah.
thing. Like, if you really love and believe in yourself and what you're gonna do, you can absolutely do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the youngest politician, Jacob Arena. Thank you so much. I just want to let everybody know real quick that please don't forget that this podcast is sponsored by Yuyo's Fresh Market. We are located in Belmont and Cragen, Chicago, 5020 West Fullerton. We have good food, great people, great service. We hope to see you guys soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Adios.
guys.